Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of the post-match reaction. I am Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV, and we are back in the studio to break down all of what we saw from the Trinidad match, especially, but also overall in the window. Jamaica, very, very good September window in terms of the results for sure. 6 points out of 6. What more could we ask for? No goals conceded, 6 goals scored. So a very, very promising first September window. As you know, we have 3 crucial windows before we find out if we are going to be in the World Cup or not come next summer. And definitely we wanted to get off to a good start, and we did just that with the 6 points. I want to say first and foremost for all of you joining as soon as we start the program, big maximum respect to you. You guys turned out in your droves to watch the watch along last night on IMAX Football. Myself, JD from IMAX and also Africans as well from Africans FC was on the panel, and we were joined later by a Trini as well, Andre from Trinidad, before the game, as he's known in the comment section. We were there last night to break it all down, and we had a great time doing that live on stream. And I just want to thank all the people that tuned in, dropped likes, and commented and took part in the conversation over there. And today, as promised, this is the post-match show. So first and foremost, people, yeah, big up to each and every one of you tuning in. We're going to go right into it. Definitely, we're going to discuss the 2-0 game. We're going to break it down how I saw it. Also, do some player ratings for that game as well. And also, I want to talk about what we learned from the September window, or kind of what we already knew for some of the things, right? So, yeah, I think I just want to start the discussion basically, getting some background from the game before we get into the analysis of it. I'm going to hear from our coach as well, have the audio of the post-match press conference. We're going to play that first as the place gets nice and full, and then we'll jump right into the analytic and the statistical breakdown of the game and how I saw it from my point of view. So, yeah, let's get right into it, people. As you know, this is YouTube, so the best way to support is by smashing and locating the like button. So when you find it, click on it, double tap it, whatever you need to do, go ahead and register a like on the video. Also, please, if you are new to the channel, your first time seeing the content, my name is Jason Gooner. Again, this is Jason Gooner TV. We discuss football here on this channel, definitely with a focus towards Jamaican football, and also we cover the EPL in full as well. And you know the name Jason Gooner, so you know where my allegiance lies there. Also, if you don't mind, please share it amongst your peer groups. Let other people know that you are watching this content, and if they are like yourselves, I'm sure they like football, and I think that's why they should know that this channel is around. All right. So first and foremost, people, let's hear from the gaffer after the game last night. Let's just hear what he had to say as far as the team and how he felt after the game. So let me go ahead and get that going. All right, where are we? Okay, here we go. Hold on there, hold on there, hold on there. Here we go. Good evening, everybody. We're joined today with the Jamaica senior men's national team, Coach Steve McLaren. Thumbs up if the volume good. Let's start with Ryan. All right, big up to God. Big up Marlon King in the building. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with your God. Yeah, man, great start, Juras. Great start. Big up yourself and let them know up the likes from early. Blessings, one love, hope all is well. El Meeks in the building, checking in. Big up, thanks for this, for the membership as well, people. That's another way you can support the channel. Become a member. It's $1.99. Definitely another way to support the channel. Juras, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to play it through there. I'm going to play it through the system so it comes through better. Yeah, that makes more sense. All right. All right. Yeah. What? Why not?
evening, everybody. We're joined with the head coach of the Jamaica Senior Men's National Team, Coach Steve McLaren. We're now going to open the floor for questions. So please raise your hand, and once you're indicated, then you can pose your question. Let's start with Brian.
Thumbs up for the volume.
That's on win. Just spoke to Dwight York. He said Jamaica didn't get to play the way they wanted to play at home, and he takes some comfort from that. You agree with that?
That what?
Jamaica didn't get to play the way they wanted to play at home. Do you agree with that statement?
So the audio for the question is a bit low, regardless. So basically, I'll just to paraphrase. He mentioned Dwight York said that he was pleased with the fact that Trinidad didn't allow Jamaica to play. They want the way they would want to play at home. So let's hear the response from the coach.
I think what we wanted first was to win. I think we started the game so well, the first 20, 25 minutes. Had opportunities to score. First goal is always important. I would say we got luck with the first goal for Trinidad that was disallowed. You know, VAR, makes a decision, and we saw that it was offside. So the first goal is important. We got it, and then I think what we did was we kind of controlled the game. So in possession, out of possession. So we wanted to to keep the ball a little bit more, and the win is a great credit to the players because it's a young team. It's inexperienced. We've tried to put the squad together. We've had many injuries over the last 2 or 3 weeks leading up to the camp. 8 normal players who would play have been missing, and we had likes of Isaac, King, were the only ones who were there, from previous. So to come here with an inexperienced young squad, to get 6 points, which was always the goal. Credit to the players for that. Credit to the staff. I think they've done a remarkable job. And we've, along the way, we've had difficulties. We lost Warner Brown, and we felt that he should have been with us. Got injured playing for Mount Pleasant, so that.
I have to pause when the man answering, because if you let him keep talking, you lose your train of thought. But basically a couple of things I pull apart from that. He wanted to have a little bit more possession in the game. I remember on the program last night, JD asking me what the game would probably look like, and I said, look, I think we need to come to grips with the fact that Jamaica probably is not going to play this brand of football that we just all love. The aesthetic of it, I don't think is going to be right if you want like this beautiful football. I think our true strength lies in just the pace and the power on the flanks especially, and we kind of work with that. And we have a bend but don't break type of mentality, and I'll kind of elaborate on that once I do the analysis of the game itself. And then also he in a part of his answer, he started to talk about some of the challenges. He did mention, credit must go to the players and also to the staff. So he was very pleased. One noticeable difference on the staff this camp, it looked like there were more people, right? So I saw a gentleman on the bench with a little headset looking, earpiece, microphone looking thing. So he was communicating with somebody up in the stands. So that seems to have been rectified. So let's give credit where it's due. He lamented about the situation in the Gold Cup. Didn't flat out attribute the losses and the bad performances to it, but definitely made sure to allude to those things. So I'm sure he thought with those things it could have been better. So we have to give some credit there. It looked like those adjustments were made. I see extra people on the staff. I don't know if the JFF ever officially put it out, but I did see reports that they had signed an assistant. At least an assistant was there in this camp. Another assistant that wouldn't have been around before. So yeah, I don't want to tell lies on the JFF, but I don't remember seeing any official notice of the new assistant that I did see with the team. I know some of the people that are involved in the JFF do happen to watch the shows, so maybe I'll get a message on my phone or a DM or something about it. But I don't remember seeing it. Maybe somebody can correct me if I'm chatting foolishness, but I don't really remember that being actually put out. I know his name is Ian Birchnell. I saw him on the bench, and I saw him in training photos. So some of that stuff was rectified, which is good. But yeah, he did talk also about something. He said he mentioned the inexperience of the group. And I want you to remember that note as we move through this interview, because that's going to be asked about later in the press conference. All right. So let's continue. I think this is still his answer to a very, what I thought didn't have to be a long answered question, but it's Mr. McLaren. So he takes the long winding road to the finish line.
That was disappointing, but we found some what I call nuggets in terms of young players and players untried, and no one better than Cadamarteri. When you don't have Warner Brown, who has been a first choice, and you bring in a young player in like Cadamarteri and Shamar back. We had Mikel. He's done a remarkable job, because to win you have to be effective and score goals, and he can do that as well. Apart from his work rate, apart from his running, I think he's been excellent for us in the first two games. And considering he wasn't really on our radar the last 3 weeks, but he's pushed himself and got his just rewards. So I'm absolutely delighted for the players. They've been a pleasure to work with. The energy and the attitude. Okay, we make mistakes, but that's an experience. We got nervous. That's also an experience. And I would say we're rather fortunate, because obviously with VAR the decisions have got to be right, but on one or two occasions they were too close for comfort. We keep a clean sheet, which was the main thing over the two games. We've created chances. We look like a hard-working team that's hard to beat, with speed, pace, CFAS. Tyrese Campbell has come in as well, bit of an unknown. We bring the likes of Kahim on. We've got speed, and we've got good defenders, and so we're really pleased with the start. But it's only the beginning, and tougher games ahead.
All right, so long-winded answer as usual from the coach, but basically that second part of the answer mentioned, what some takeaways were from the window, mentioning, some nuggets is what he called them. Cadamarteri, Tyrese Campbell, did mention, when he mentioned Cadamarteri, that it didn't have Warner Brown. I always found it kind of, I don't know, it seems like those two are linked in some way. So maybe it is really and truly that Warner Brown, but that's what's confusing to me, because he's always linking them. But then he mentions that, Warner Brown couldn't play because of an issue with what happened with Mount Pleasant, and he was upset. Actually, kind of throwing word at Mount Pleasant that, the window starts Monday. Why are you playing the man on the Monday? And he must have gotten injured in that game. So wasn't pleased about that. Odello, big up yourself. I see this comment here. I watched the Curacao and Bermuda game twice today. Bermuda played better, and especially the last 20 minutes. I'm waiting on Curacao recruits, because this can't be the Curacao y'all blazing every day. Well, Odello, if you watch that game twice and you think that Bermuda played better, brother, I don't know what to tell you. And that just goes to show why football is so, what should we call it now? People enjoy discussing football so much, because if you and I can watch a game and I can think so much in the opposite of what you think, that there shows you why people love football, because you can argue about it all day. Because I don't know how you could have watched that game and thought that Bermuda played better than Curacao. In every single metric known to football, everything, Curacao is better. Eye test, stats, goals, big chance, XG, anything you can name. So I don't know how you thought Bermuda played better, but I can kind of know why, Odell, because as a Jamaica fan, it will make me feel better if Bermuda played better than Curacao, knowing that we already beat Bermuda 4-0. But it is what it is, Lo. You have your opinion, and I have mine on that one. We just have to agree to disagree, my brother. Reggae Boyz win despite Maryland speed, says El Meeks. Bless up Toffee Rudy. Hope all is well. Hope can finish the World Cup final with clean sheets. That would be nice. Final round with clean sheets, yep. Big up Swamptivity, forward out of the swamp. I think the midfield need a few more players. Palmer is too much of a hothead. We need a player for him. Need an extra 6. Good win yesterday. All right, yes, we'll discuss Casey and that entire 6 area of the pitch because we know something happened in the game last night that's going to make us really look into ourselves about that 6 area. JFF need to acknowledge the passing of the GOAT Alan Skill Cole. Actually, RR, before you diss them, go and check their IG page. I just saw the post about an hour ago now. So, yeah, don't diss them RR before you check because they have posted. Low said, forget that. I've been bashing JFF publicly for the last 10 years, even saying on record he don't want to see any non-born Jamaicans in the team. What are we acknowledging more than RIP? Well, Low, that's what they did. They acknowledged him. Let's see I'll read it for you guys. I won't put it on the screen or anything, but sleep in peace to Alan Skill Cole. While I did not agree with some of your sentiments about the national team, look, I understand that people are going to have opinions about these things, and I can look at you for what I knew you to be as a young man growing up, somebody that my father revered, and he always spoke highly of. So, yeah, but this is the post from the JFF Football Instagram page. The Jamaica Football Federation extends heartfelt condolences to the family, friends, and the wider football fraternity on the passing of former national player Alan Skill Cole, who died on Tuesday, September 9, 2025 at the age of 74. Cole enjoyed a distinguished playing career representing Jamaica with pride and professionalism. Internationally, he featured for Náutico FC in Brazil in 1972 and for the Atlanta Chiefs in the United States in 1968. On the domestic scene, he left an indelible mark with Real Mona, Boys Town, and Santos football clubs. The JFF joins the nation in mourning the loss of a true icon, whose remarkable contribution to football and culture will be cherished for generations to come. So, nice post there from the JFF. Loa understand that sentiment, but I'm not gonna kill him for his opinion on things. He didn't have the power to really do anything about it, so he couldn't act on it. Reggae Boyz bench for October: Blake, Pinnock, Latibodir, Bobby Reed, Leon Bailey, D. Gray, Amari Bell, Warner Brown, Shamar Nicholson, M. Antonio, K. Dixon, just saying. So that's his bench, he said. Bless up, Chile. Go on. Big up, Chile. It's Jamaica Day, but EPL start back up Saturday. Heard some bad news about Marmoush today. Not good for my FPL, even though he wasn't doing nothing yet. But I think I figured he would definitely eventually start to produce something. But not for now, he's out. But yeah, Friday night, people were doing the EPL review show to get back into the EPL action, all right? That will never happen, say Eagle. So Logan said that will happen. That ain't the bench. Marlon King asked a damn good question. Are you satisfied with the way to be benching Blake? The last 20 minutes, who was in control? I would say Curacao was still in control because they still had the more chances at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? I would say they still had most of the chances at the end of that game. But like I say, I mean, you see the game differently, brother. That's gonna happen. I think once they got their third goal, I mean Bermuda, they huffed and puffed and thing, and they had like some a mad at the end of the game they had some block shots and thing in the box, but and a good shot saved. But I mean, they weren't really able to capitalize on any kind of territorial advantage. They had maybe the last 5 minutes of injury time when Curacao was just trying to lock up shop. Yeah, but I wouldn't say 20 minutes. Bless up. So we got never to see Kyle Duncan. No, Kyle Duncan didn't play last night. Man, try bad up Simon and the coach. Don't. The injury to Warner Brown opened the door for Bailey. When one door closes, another door opens. Yep. 6 out of 6. Can't ask for a better start. That is it, Chile. I was uncomfortable with waiting goal. I concur. No, Big G, we just forward. Why do you think we look so much better with so many automatic starters missing? The passing is much more fluid, real knockings. Well, strings, I mean, honestly, the part of the field that would be the knockings is the midfield, and those guys usually start. So, yes, there were pieces missing, but a lot of the build-out phases, Lee is a starter, kinda, because when him and Bell is there, it's kind of a toss-up most of the time. Lembikisa is the nailed-down right-back starter. When everybody's fit, King and Low arguably don't start. But we have seen them start when everybody's there, So I think that the besides the goalkeeper, the back four and the midfield three was kind of the first team, to be honest. But I get what they're saying because there was no Bailey, no Gray, and no Warner Brown or no Antonio, obviously. Even Boza would be more of a first teamer than a Bailey Cadamarteri. So I get what he's saying there. But there were more starters in the team than what people were even like acting like it was a lot less than the amount of players that actually start. And it really wasn't the case. I mean, yes, we had the two wingers who normally start out, and we had the normal striker out. But other than that, arguably, you could say those other players start out at the time as well. Yo. Big up yourself, PM. Soup, chicken foot soup. Dirty Harry been watching Mr. Tracy show. We need to discuss King trying to show up Nana publicly in front of everyone. Not the first I see King act so in front of crowd. So unprofessional, especially the captain. I understand it was a mistake. Yeah, look, King is very emotional on the field. I saw him pushing Levi Garcia. I saw him pushing Damian Lowe. He's very, very emotional and what do I call it now? Expressive on the field. So yeah, maybe somebody can talk to him about that, the optics of that. But yeah, I did see the player talking about the Odell. He kind of showed some jitters, but he cannot use his feet while Andre Blake cannot. Okay. Blessings, Jason. Any fans or YouTubers saying senior players should not come back? They don't know nothing about football, emotion, madness. Yeah, Tycoon, it's hard to eliminate the emotion out of the conversations. That's why sometimes I just try to keep it more to the football side, because the less emotion and the more analytic, I think it's a more progressive discussion to have, So that's why I kind of do my thing the way I do it most of the time. But emotions come into play some of the time too. So I'm probably guilty of it at times. Casey Palmer is a liability. We need a replacement, said BM. All right. Yeah, I think Casey is one of the ones that some people just can't really come, he's not a favorite of the fan base. Let me just say that. Can use his feet. Yeah. He can, but he just was messing up last night. That bench might have two new players. Good point, Tuffy Rudy. What are your thoughts on Boza's cameo? I thought he looked lively. I thought he tried to get in on the action. I would have wished for him to do a little better on the through pass from Dixon in a couple of ways. Since I'm thinking about it now, I'll just talk on it. So I saw a play. I don't know if you guys saw the game between Venezuela and Brazil. I think it was. No, sorry. Ecuador and Argentina. And if you saw the play that Otamendi gets sent off on, I would show Boza that clip and I would ask him what did he and Enner Valencia do differently. So I have always remembered as a striker, when I get through and I am in front of my man, the last thing I want to do is to let that man get back beside me. So all I would have done differently if I'm Boza, if you know you want to get off that left foot shot, you have to try to keep your run at an angle where the player cannot kind of get around you like that to block the shot. Because, I mean, you had the advantage on him, and when you pushed it to the left, your main focus was on the ball, which I understand because you need to score it. but I feel like you let what's my boy name, Trinidad back in the play by how you kind of had your body and in position to where the ball was. I don't know if anybody else felt the same, but I felt like if he just did a better job shielding that ball, he either has to get fouled, which is a sending off, or he can't touch him and he can get a shot off that isn't blocked. But I thought overall the cameo was fine. I thought he was an option in behind. Like I said, the ball from Kahim, he looked sharp on top of the box that one time when he flicked it in the air and swiveled and volleyed it, and almost took the guy's head off. So I was okay with his cameo. Tycoon, have you get heard of the group Emotionals? A lot of fans are vying for the lead singer in that group. Big up MF. It's a group called Emotionals. Many of the comment sections, fans and podcasters vying for the lead singer role. Who do you suggest would be your choice as replacement for Hayden, who will miss the next game? Well, Eagle Republic, that's a good question. I think if we're looking at an answer in the squad this past window, I would say that the obvious choice would probably be Lambert. I think he's the one that pretty much fills the defensive midfield attributes the best. I don't think he's as slick on the ball as Isaac Hayden. That's not really, I don't think, his strength. But I do think that if you're talking about simplicity, 1-2 touch, keeping possession, not really overly taking risks on the ball, it would be him. All I would ask if Lambert does play the role is to be as present as Isaac is in our build-up. Because one thing you can't accuse Isaac of is not making himself available as an option. And I think sometimes when Lambert's playing in that role, he tends to hide just a bit for my liking. So I would just like for him to have the confidence to know that even if you're just going into a space to be a decoy, we still need it to be that decoy to open space for others. So I would go with Lambert because I think he's the one that has to change his game the least to do what I think Steve McLaren wants that position to do. So yeah, Lambert for me. I know he's not a lot of people's favorite, but just based on his abilities and what his attributes are, I think he makes the most sense. And I think playing in the league he plays in, he'll have some familiarity with the turf as well, because there are quite a few stadia in that league that use turf. Grays are number 10 now, remember, says Andre Moore. True. The wingers' work rate was higher than the regular starters. Yeah. Lee, that is something that we always notice. We noticed that the Unity Cup, and we noticed it against Guatemala as well in the 3-0. Wait, they play? No, but one of them played in that one. But we notice it anytime, Gray and Bailey don't start, basically. Curacao field is turf, yep. But we also have to understand who we played. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the group we're in, though, because we played Curacao, we played Trinidad, and we played Bermuda. So all that's left to play is Curacao. So those are the teams. Jason, one of these days, check to see our win record with Chippy playing. Ooh, so you mean to tell me that the big viral moment with Ryan was a lie? You must tell him. Man say him only lose 3 times in Odell. I was impressed with Kadamar Terry. He looked very comfortable leading line as a lone striker. Yeah, Biggs G, from much of what I saw in the 2 games, is what I see when I saw him playing for Sheffield Wednesday this year. I've seen quite a growth in his confidence is the main thing. I don't think he was as confident last season or even the season before as he is now, and that comes with age and repetition and everything. But he looks really sharp in the matches I saw, and it translated when he came over to play for us. Hope Pinnock fit and ready because this defense need improvement, said Tycoon. Yeah, fit and ready is the main thing because I know Pinnock improves the defense, but I need him fit to really, really and truly improve it, King needs to calm down. I love the passion, but he's too emotional. He can't be shouting at the captain. Every player makes mistakes, including King. Yeah. But our biggest test be Curacao away or Trinidad away? That's a good question, Strings. I think, if I'm being honest, I would probably say Curacao away just because I think they're a different type of threat to us than Trinidad. I think we cope a little better with Trinidad style, to be honest. And I also think the added difference of the turf to the grass, I think we'll just be more familiar with the grass that Trinidad have. One boss, I say Conrad. Too much madness on the internet, too much emotional guys in the new generation. I don't even know. I want to go to the World Cup in USA. People getting killed right and left. Yeah, thumbs up. Jano Star. I just see that horrifying video there. I mean, regardless of your political affiliation, nobody should have to deal with that, you know? Yeah, man. Condolences to anybody in his family. I know he's like recently a new father again and everything, and just sad, man. If you don't know, I'm talking about, I think his name is Chris Kirk. He's like a right-wing political activist and influencer and stuff, and I think he got assassinated today. So thoughts and prayers go to him and his family. And yeah, just tragic, horrific, terrible. The so-called missing regulars reminds me of players in All-Star games, while the team that played the last two games show a similar passion fight like Guatemala and Salvador players. Okay, so Eagle Republic said he sees a difference in the ones that's just getting a chance now. Fear. Is that enough though? Bless Omzo. Yeah, man. Brother, it was the starting 8 that was missing. It was the whole starting 8 that was missing. Bless up, Skip. Yeah, man. Big up yourself, brother. Taking the game live. Jason, most of our players don't like to play on turf field, so Curacao game will be interesting. I agree, Mario. I really love the Dexter game with Campbell on the right side. Only if we get the midfield to improve, it could be deadly. Yeah, they have a nice synergy on that side for real. I know Dexter appreciate the work rate, you know, because a couple times I see him double team with him on Spicer, you know. Check the news, someone just got sniped. Yeah, man, madness are going over here. Gooner Lambert hides from the ball. I skip, as you notice, I just mentioned it, you know. I'm going to tell him how more I talk to him and say, listen, man, you have to have the confidence for not hide, man. Come on. Yeah, it depends. Jason, give me your honest thought about CFAS. Don't be political, be honest. Well, honestly, bro, I've just faced the reality that, you know, you're gonna have to get upset when in play because he's going to do things that just make you scratch your head. But you can't deny that, you know, he puts fear in the other team. I mean, literally for the first 10 to 15 minutes, they had 2 right backs because Trinidad had to play right back too. So he does create problems for the other team. I just wish that he would create less problems for his own team, you know? So that's my honest opinion. You can't deny that he's a threat because he's hard to stop. You know he's going to push it past you, but you still can't stop it, you know? It's just what happens after the push pass that leaves you saying, damn, man, jeez, you know? Lambert is not the best he will have to do for now. The only other, yeah. Ian Frey plays the CDM really good low, but guess what? Our next game is on turf. And I don't know if Ian Frey will be able to play on that. Now, I hope he's in the window because I would love to have him in the squad. But I just don't know if that's the way to go with him. I really don't like the surface of Curacao Stadium. Yeah, it's not ideal, I don't think. Does the role of impact player fit Dixon more than being a starter because he was very active yesterday? Yeah, String. So the passing, I saw glimpses of those passes for his couple of appearances so far for Crawley Town because they're playing him a lot more central in their system. But yeah, I have always said that both he and Cephas to me would be way more effective off the bench. When I see how we started out the game yesterday, I might have to say, boy, maybe Cephas is a person that can start more than I thought. Because as I said, a lot of that first, I'd say 15, 20 minutes of dominance was force feeding Cephas and them not being able to cope. I think he earned like 5 corners in the first 15 minutes of madness like that. So obviously, ideally, you'd want him to earn 5 assists or 5 goals, but you know, we are good on set pieces. If we have a decent delivery, we have good athletes who attack the ball well. So corners are a good, dangerous play for us, you know. Gunners, says Nitro, big up yourself. Checking in, Pastor Blake, big up Lansley in the building. Bailey is the second coming of Dan Burton's upside. It's crazy. Oh, Charlie Kirk, come to call him. I said the wrong word. But yeah, I know him last name is Kirk. Ian Frey never showed up. The player would first have to accept the call up. Yeah, that is true, Skip. That is true. Bailey is not capped yet. Hopefully England doesn't show him a promise bone. Tuffy Rudy, I mean, boy, if something like that were to happen, I'd be shocked. Because, I mean, England is in the heart of their World Cup qualifying preparation, and I don't think the nugget of another youth call-up is going to supersede, the next phase of a World Cup qualifying campaign that you've already scored in. I would be shocked, but, I would be shocked. I can't believe Curacao struggled to beat Bermuda. I guess this group is much easier than we thought. Yeah, I mean, look, Curacao could have scored like 3 more goals as well. So, the 3-2, they were made to work by Bermuda. But to be honest, the 4-0, if you really look at the game, it might have flattered us a little bit. Maybe a 2-0 would have been a little more realistic, or even a 3-1 type of thing. So, yeah. I don't know, man. I think if you watch the Curacao game, it's easy. Well, if you follow Odell Lowe, you're right. But in my eyes, if you watch the game, I think you'll see that Curacao probably was better value for the win than a 3-2. I think the coach will draft a whole gate in CDM since Hayden will serve a suspension. That's another thing, though. Is Hayden's knees are also, seeing better days. So I don't know about the turf with him either. People think we're better without our regular players. Yeah, some people do think that, because they do think that they don't work hard enough. You really think Conor Martier can make the England team? He's not going anywhere, bro. Curacao struggle to score. Once they fix that part of the game, they'll be as good as Suriname. I think that's Suriname's problem too. They need to figure out how to score more goals too. Dexter, Campbell, and Anderson, the Reggae Boyz triplets. Yeah, man. 117 of you in the building. So I need to have 117 likes, bro. Simple. Yeah, man. Press the like button, man. Let them know. I know you won't make it. That's why I said promise bone. We'll have to sell him some serious cocoa juice. Are you guys going to keep bringing Casey and Lee, Lambert and Anderson? I hope Hall, Mason, Baker, Sterling and Ravel can replace those idiots. Boy, one thing with gang talking, the man no holy words, brother. The man just talk brawling. Him say, if him not like you, him gonna tell you don't come back. Lambert not even touch the field and him get a cussing. Jeez. Boy. Gang talking had enough of those players. Oh, okay. But the man passed away. Well, I guess he would have passed away by game time still. So yeah, you have a point here. Sleep in peace to Bob Campbell as well. Did they say why Frey was missing? No, never. I've heard things behind the scenes, which I won't bring on air because it's not really like, I won't bring that out. But no, nothing from the actual side of the federation or the administration. At least I missed it if it was reported why Frey was missing. So I don't know. I don't know the public reason. The great news about this window is that now the coach will not be afraid to make subs because the bench will be as good as the starting lineup. Tuffy Rudy, that is actually a good foreshadowing because that's one of the things I learned about this squad in this window. Now we need to target the younger brother. Oh my gosh, that would be like gold if we strike that kid. He's like Wonder Kids level. You see me? Nothing against Bailey, but I don't think Bailey was going for millies at that age. When Merul Muskila and Alan Skill Cole, Vibes Cartel 1. Cephas and Dixon are super subs, says Tuffy Rudy. It's $3.99, like my brethren Francis telling me. Jason, which starting lineup you like to see in Curacao game? Mario Logan, take your time, brother. We have 3 more weeks to make sure the man them stay fit. Then we can discuss that, you see me? They can get Charlie Kirk, Candice Owens, better watch herself. John O'Star, now I even thought them things into existence, star. While I disagree with some or take them people that shouldn't be having this type of problem, man. Them have them thoughts and beliefs. That's like me want to shoot a man for have the opposite football opinion. Like, why? Come on, man. Bailey has played 2 official games for the Jamaica senior team. He cannot switch back. Really? But he's 20. And he hasn't played 3 official games. So why he couldn't switch? Oh, because he already switched. I see. Bailey's sticking with Jamaica. Yeah, good point, Rico Dan. Good point. If Bailey sees switch, he cannot switch back. Yeah, good point. Yeah, but BM is only one switch you get in a life, you know. Good game from the boys. I wish the A team was as good as the youngsters. Senior players seem like their head is tough and full of arrogance. Jaja. All right, let me see. You know the coach going to play low in midfield. No, no, please. Good game from the boys. I wish the A team. Okay, I just read that. Don't believe that Bailey Cadamarteri will be capped until after next year when he turns 21. Well, Eagle Republic is a one-time switch, you know, my friends. I mean, I know. Can't switchy. Bless up, Rob. Wagwan. What's the deal with Reese Nelson? I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I heard a rumor that potentially in this window he could have been sorting out some stuff, but I don't know how true that would be because if you're not called by a country in the international window, training is going on. So, you know, it would have been a really small window for him to come and do that. And, you know, most of the time when they make trips, the Instagram police would have put it out already. So I don't know if there's any movement on that at all. To my knowledge, what I know is, you know, there still would have to be a trip to Jamaica to make sure that the naturalization would happen at a faster pace, you know. No, that's just the age limit, but FIFA has a switching rule as well. You can't switch back to your previous country. Facts. Bless up Jaguars in the building. Big up for the membership as well. Each and every time I go big you up for that Jaguars. Bless. Six goal, 2 clean sheet. All inactive man them can log off, chuck off, just move out. Where's the only praises for the boys? Do you know if Aaron's and Henry and Archer visited to collect their passports? I never got any confirmation that those 3 players did make a trip. As I said, every time I heard people talking about that, I thought it was kind of pipe dreams because they would have to get some kind of clearance from the club to travel. Because, you know, they're kind of, it's an international window, but those not on break with their club teams usually report in for training and workouts and whatnot. I think they might get a few of the first days of the window off, but after a certain amount of days, I think those who aren't on duty do have to report. So I just don't know if the time would have been, you know, I don't know if the time would have been available. I need Pops to read up some of the skill code articles he might have witnessed his greatness. Yeah, I was trying to see if Pops could come on today, but, you know, Pops is heavily involved in the CPL and they're getting into that crunch stage of the competition now. So he's like, he could give you about 5 minutes at a time. But I tried, people. I tried to get him on today. I never even asked him, you know, but I just know the runnings go this time of the year for him. So kind of left it alone. Hold on, the people. Yeah. Thank God for VAR in CONCACAF. What a man solved to score a hat-trick offside. Boy, I tell you. Like up the show. Yeah, man. We did well sick yesterday. Today I feel very good. Is it? Still don't feel 100, but I feel a lot better still. Okay, thanks for the clarification. I thought you could switch if you're under 21. Yeah, it's the one-time business though. Yes, Rico Dana explain again. We don't need any more attackers. We need a real 8. Yeah, we need. I think. Yeah, I'll take a real 8 and even another. I mean, or play the 6s we have. You know, why was Rico Henry and Cameron Archer included in that ill-fated watch list? I think it's pretty clear, J. Ross, that some of the players clearly, based on reports to the coach, had a chance to get their stuff over the line before the games. Obviously, that didn't pan out that way, so he couldn't actually name them in the final squad. We appreciate Europe work. I believe that probably means your work. I don't know what currency is PLN. Thank you for your donation, Omzo. What is PLN though? Huh. That one there. The Polish, okay. So that's the Polish zloty. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. All right. Respect, Omzo. First time I've ever gotten a Polish zloty super chat in my life. So big up to Arms Up for the super chat. Suriname is surprising a lot of person. Yeah, they play a good brand of ball. Not surprising me as much. The only thing is, I still think they need a striker to really. I think that will just flip a next switch for them. Big up JD. He has made no switch as yet because he has never played for the England national team. We hope that next he will get captain. Okay, so why is it that we were told that why is it that we were told? I think I heard Simon saying it on I Am Sure Sports Management show that if they have represented England at the youth level, it does require them to make a switch. But Franklin, you're saying something different here now. So I don't know. Clear that up. Rika down here with some comments on skill. Some of Skill Cole's utterances, I hate it, but he's still a legend and respect is due. Condolences to him and his family. Xenophobia was bold, but I respect someone who is honest and not sneaky with it. Perpetuating of xenophobia will continue to reduce JA at best an enigma. So at best an enigma. Don't want to mess up what you said. Yeah, man, I know it was your, but I just read it out to give it respect because that's what it says. But yeah, I figured you meant your work. And thanks again for the super chat, bro. So it's only one player can sit in his house in France and get passport FedEx delivered while drinking coffee, and everybody else have to take British Airways go pick it up. Okay, I'll make my calf start, Jano. Now one the funny still. General Johnson was in Netherlands U19. Yep. Saw his post in the kit playing England, playing Rio from Liverpool, you know, U21. Or I think it was U19. 80 likes. Come on, Eras. They can do better, right? That was about 2 minutes ago, so hopefully we reach to the 100 in the next 2 minutes. Bless up, Duke. Go on. You catch a show today. I think goal difference so far is good for us because in these competitions they can go to the. Yep, I said the same last night. I said that's one of my main positives. We haven't conceded. Sometimes I scratch my head and wonder how, but at the end of the day we haven't. So good, great. It wasn't unlucky, man. It was offside. The only one was even close. Yeah, I think the second one wasn't as. I thought the second one was closer, but then when you see the replay, it wasn't. The first one ended up being the closest, you know. And it's fine margins because on our second goal, not even the Russell one, but if you look at when Dixon got the ball from Lembikisa, he was like barely onside. So football is a game of fine margins. Yeah, man, we have to look it up, man. PLN. Okay, so you're there till next month, working hard. Man did his best impression of Mbappe versus Barca last season. For real, God, yeah, he did that same shit, no? We might not need more attackers, but we're getting a very good one in the next window. He's not staying home like some people want. Tuffy Rudy here with a cryptic message. I totally disagree with you on that, Jason. The watch list was a distraction for continued xenophobia. Damn. You'll have to elaborate in the form of a text on the chat so I can understand why you say this. Oh, because okay, I'd referenced the watch list. Because I said that some of the players might not have. Okay, it was a distraction for continued xenophobia. Okay, skill code only. The first imported baller for Jamaica. A lot don't know who is the second. Actually, I know Sean Fraser played. He was around my time, so yeah, played him, played against him and with him. We're going with Mason Green because it don't look like Tuchel or Preem. Yeah. I don't know if it meant for that to rhyme, but that sounds like a lyric. We're going with Mason Green because it don't look like Tuchel or Preem. Yeah, I don't know, you know. I don't know. I think the JFF state that the ball is in his court because they tried to call him. So, you know, I'm yet to hear anything from his camp, whether himself or his camp or his family or his agent or anybody. So, you know, I think at this point, I don't know, like, even if he's considering playing for Jamaica, surely, like, the PR side of his team would understand, like, maybe some kind of messaging would help. But I guess at this point, they're saying, they don't want to show their hand in any way, I guess, or give any thoughts of when, so that there's no expectation on him. But it's too late for that. You know, the JFF has come out publicly, so you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. Kaz play for the U19 team. He needs to switch to play senior football. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I had one. Bless up yourself. Thanks for turning up, even if you're a little late. It's all good. If Mason Greenwood not forward in October, him stay over England. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of people say that. Some give him till November. Some said October 1. But yeah, and some say, yo, if him want forward a month before World Cup, so be it. Them man ya can't just talk ball. Why are we still talking about xenophobia? 6 points from 2. Negativity, go over there. Come on, Rob, man. You can't tell people what to talk about and what not to talk about. This is a free world, you know, a free space. Just disagree if you're going to disagree, or counter the point, you know, that's all. Clarendon icon, man, change how Clarendon you look on football. Please, proper game except for 10 thumbs. 10 thumbs, oh boy. As a Man United fan, I told you that Mason has been edging his bets and waiting for qualification. I know that kid's personality. Let's stick with those who want to work for the national team. So Rico Dan, knowing his personality, would you just say pretty much if that's his intention, then he just can't, he has to play 20-30 if he want to play? Let me know, Rico Dan. Maybe Charlton send the wrong man to Crawley. Damn, where's that? Tyrese them should have sent? Jaja. A hat trick of offsides. That is Guinness Book of World Records worthy. I think the Margaret will be Jamaica midfielder moving forward. So I said the role where Palmer played yesterday and Russell then moved into after the subs, that will be Demari and Cephas on the left. Yeah, man, bars. If I go back to the bars again. Man say, what going on with Mason Green? Because he don't look like Tuchel or Pre. Bars. If the ball in him court, I could take back the ball then. They say, but we're going to find the next ball. From what I know, the player must play for a national team in order to make a switch. Look at Hutchinson. He came and played for JA, went back to England and can still play for JA. Okay. The England coach said Greenwood isn't in his plans. Yeah, man, we saw that. Tycoon said, you have some patience. And him not talk about the doctor one, even though him spelled that. Yeah, we're not beg anyone to play for us. One team Jamaica, same way. Boy, I think it's a semantics thing in a Logan, because people were against it, I gotta say we are beg them, and people for it say we're recruiting them. So it depends what you want to call it. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato, white god, Cadamarteri, Henry, Bala. So strings, you did see the post. I look for a nickname for him. You did put white god in there. Can we stop talking about Greenwood and talk about the man that just got us 6 points, one track mind? Conrad said, Mason, welcome anytime. Anything on Ben Johnson? I remember hearing rumors he was interested some months ago. J. Ross, nothing concrete, but promising signs. That's all I will say. But for a lot of these players right now, it's a race against time because, as you know, like the windows are frequent, but they're not. You have to get it done really right at the start of the window because all those not reported to the national teams have to report back to work. So it's a timing thing, you know, and I have to really get everything in order to come, because at this point, I don't think any of them want to risk doing it, you know, high commission way. They would want to come and do all the paperwork here and submissions here, and that way everything can move smoother. Saka, Greenwood, Kane, Cole, Palmer. No one in the world want to see that Tuchel is calculating his thoughts on calling MG. I don't think it's up to Tuchel alone, though. It's more political over there, you know. Who not playing the World Cup qualifier can stay. So Logan and Rico Dan say, yo, nah, but you know. Nitro say anytime. It would have been interesting to see how far skill code would have gone in football if he didn't transition into the music business. Greenwood is proverbial prodigal son. Enough Jerry and Nevy and Corey goat when he touches down in Jamaica. Bless up Warren Webster. T Campbell play better on the left. Big up Javari in the building, almost 150 in the building. Make sure to smash up the likes. Bagsman coming next window. Imagine a front of Mason, Cads, and Whisper. Mason, Cads, and Leon. Coach has choices. Whew. Very good choices as well. Jamaica can qualify next window, win their next 2 matches. Trinidad beat Bermuda and a tie with them and Curacao. So Morrison has pulled out the calculator and say, yo, two more wins and 12 points with certain results, we're good to go. I see them cuss Hayden and Bailey C. Now they're all in their face taking pictures. Yeah, Tycoon. That's why sometimes you just let the pot boil, and let it simmer. After it boils, you just simmer it. That's what you call what's happening with Bailey and Hayden now, just the simmer. Because you let them boil and it boil over, and you kind of get rid of the extra people. Them left the people them a simmer now, and now that I come to the surface now, I have to just like the player them, because guess what? Them come and them add something to the team. We just need to sort out the midfield. Yes, need to. Aaron's better hurry before Johnson come there in food. Jeez. Some of the journalists need to relax themselves. I couldn't believe what happened yesterday. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to the press conference, but the comments are run, brother. I try to keep up with them, because a lot of times when I run the program, I feel bad. All the comments are there and I don't really talk about them, But let me kind of get back to what we're going to. Dixon did well when he came on. That is a fact. Dexter was very good yesterday. Lowe was very good yesterday. Very impressed with Anderson's window. Yeah, I thought he was better in the first game, but still good in the last one yesterday. Real talk, 6 from 6 next win. Now we are in the World Cup. I think we'll need results as well to be there. But damn, we'll be very close if we can get 6 points next window. All right, let me go back to this.
Yeah, coach. In terms of our midfield, we still seem to be struggling to get organized, especially a lot of times the center circle is very empty tonight. Tactically going forward into the next window, what are the adjustments that you plan to make for that?
I thought we were very organised in terms of that midfield. I wouldn't say we took risks, but we took risks playing Casey Palmer, who is a 10, and John Russell, who likes to get in the box. And John Russell scored the goal again. So how many? And creativity, and we kind of the unsung hero, Isaac Hayden. You don't see him much, but he quietly goes about his job, fills in for people, and is our real rock in there. And it's disappointing he got the second booking because we miss him in the next game.
Chef. Okay, Ronaldo. Ronaldo Adams, CBM TV. Coach, the last time we spoke, we lamented the lack of goal scoring from the boys and also the lack of clean sheets. In their previous 2 games, 4-0 against Bermuda, 2-0 against Trinidad Tobago tonight. Improvements, yes?
Absolutely. You're quite correct in that analysis previous. And, it's what I was about, how would you get these players to score? It's a confidence thing. And that will do Cadamarteri a world of good. That John Russell has come in and delivered from midfield. We need more. We need more goals from Cephas, more goals from Kahim when we play. But as I said, you don't realise how inexperienced this squad is in terms of caps and things, and concerning all the players that were missing, like Latibedia and Pinnock and Bell and Bobby Reid, Leon Bailey, Dimmy, Warner Brown. It's 8 of the team, and Andre Blake. It's 8 of the team who's represented and been the mainstays in the 11. So for me, it's been a perfect. We got great messages from all the players as well, which gave them a lot. We had Mikel Antonio here, added his experience. Damien Lowe, who has not played at all, and he just turns up, trains, and he's played 60 minutes and then a full game.
Dexter.
And you know, I think, and I said after the game, I think the person who epitomises, you know, what Jamaican football is all about in terms of tenacity, work rate, the way it was. Dexter was, Lebkisa was, yeah, I thought he was absolutely magnificent tonight, up and down that line, playing against Spicer, who was probably one of their top 3 players, and he kept him quiet so much that he had to go, and he got forward, he got back. You know, he's a bright one for the future.
Coach, in the press conference, the pre-game press conference, you mentioned you wanted the fans to come out and be that 12th man for the team. Like, are you pleased with the turnout tonight? Like, did you feel like that helped motivate the team?
I think the team was so focused on doing the job, and we wanted to give a performance and get the win. In spells, we had that performance, and we got the win. So we're possibly delighted that the fans go home happy. It's important, and we'll look towards the next game and try and build this crowd up and the atmosphere up for what is going to be, you know, a terrific last 4 games and 2 home games, which are going to be so important.
Roger.
Coach, you have gotten the results so far at the most crucial time. It might not get easier, it might as well as it might get easier. Is there a particular way that you're instilling this team, you want them to play, and are you seeing it as yet?
How we want to play?
Because it might not get easier as well as it might get easier as the podcast score.
It only gets harder from now on. So playing Curacao next is going to be very difficult. But we're concentrating on the process on us. We want to be hard to beat, keep clean sheets. And if we can do that, you see we've got good players, and good players also to come back in who can score goals. So what I see, I really liked. And especially the first 20 minutes in spells where we really built from the back. But we got nervous towards the end and maybe a little tired. But we got through. We got through grit and determination. And so I can't fault the players at all for whether it was good, bad, performance, how we want to play. We got the result. And that's the most important.
Coach, congratulations. And I think everyone wants to say congratulations.
All right, so you guys kind of hearing like a theme with some of the questions. I think they're trying to basically get the coach to say he's not quite fully happy with the style. They're not saying it directly, but they're kind of asking in a way that's a bit, you can tell that they want to get a little bit of a reaction out of the coach. This is just child's play compared to what's coming next, but I kind of started to sense a theme that even though we got the win and everything, people wanted to have a hard-hitting moment. I don't know where it stemmed from. You know, I have noticed in most of the press conferences recently before this game, it was a lot of new media present, and I think this was all traditional media, if I'm not mistaken. I know many YouTubers that I know and speak to didn't get any accreditation for the game. Apparently they had the wrong passes or something like that. I don't know if it was a big miscommunication or what, but I don't see how you don't make not make you know, I don't want you to let them in just because you know them, but at the same time, I fail to believe that all the YouTubers all had the wrong information and none of them signed up properly. Like I find that too hard to believe, right? I don't know if any got in. I don't know if any of them are watching this now. But if any YouTuber that resides in Jamaica and was in Jamaica for the game was unable to get accreditation, or if you were able to get it, let me know in the comment section right now if you're watching, or in the comments of the video as well, because that's not something that I like to hear. And from my knowledge of dealing with Simon, I've never seen him to be someone that wouldn't want everyone to get a chance to be involved. Now if you don't do your end of the bargain and sign up in time, that's on you. But I would hope that the information to sign up would have been the correct information. So when I do my right thing and sign up, I would get a damn accreditation to come in, right? So I would like to get some clarity on that. I know a lot of times these videos are watched by people that are in the federation or at least linked to it, or they might clip it and send to them. So if you guys see this, let me know what happened with the accreditation for the game, because I don't like what I was hearing as far as some of the new media or content creators, YouTubers, vloggers, whatever you want to call them, not getting a chance to get their media accreditation to the games when, last year when it was Dominica and well, who do we play against at home? Dominican Republic. It was probably only them there to ask questions, and one or two, the main ones. You'd have an Observer, a Gleaner, a CVM, a TVJ, but that's it. Maybe an IRFM. But it seemed like there were more entities there. Obviously, it's World Cup time, it's Trinidad, the excitement. I get it. But hopefully, it's not we just can't accommodate all these people, so let's find a way to kind of freeze them out type of thing. I hope that's not the case. And I don't want to level anything on them without knowing the facts. So I'm asking, let me know how the story went so I can know.
Perfect start. Clean sheet, 6 points. It's easy to get carried away thinking that you're almost in the world. How does coaching staff keep the players and everybody grounded?
I think we've learned from the last year, and I certainly learned from the last year that there are no easy games in the Caribbean, and I think that was proven against Bermuda. How we went about planning for that game, went about playing that game, and they qualified for a World Cup qualifying group, so they're a good team. Look, I think 3-2 Curacao tonight.
Yeah.
And it was 2-2.
2-2 at halftime.
2-2 at halftime. You wouldn't credit that, and yet that just shows what a professional performance that we put in, and also tonight in terms of controlling the game. So yeah, we're progressing well, and at this stage of the season, it's all about results, and God willing, we've got a bit of luck on our side as well, which you need. But as I said, tougher games ahead.
Yes, coach. My question is similar to Mr. Jones. 6 points, coach. I think you have eradicated a lot of those that people are coming into the qualifying about the team. What is the mindset basically now as you close off this window and go into the next window?
I think it's the focus the players must have. We get together again in 3 weeks. We hope some of these players who have been injured, we hope they come back, play games. Want the players who have come on this camp to maintain the form, keep fit, don't get injured, and make sure that we've got a good pool of players to pick from. And as I say, for an inexperienced team, they gave everything to Jamaica, to the supporters, to each other to get this result.
Two questions, coach. Just to follow up on Roger's question. How do you want to do this one? I'm not sure of the answer, because I can't tell anybody how Jamaica wants to. That's one. Two, you spoke about.
All right, so this right here is the one, people. So let me pull it back, and I'm going to explain everything. I saw some people saying the guy's name is Jamal. This is not Jamal speaking. It's someone
so that
else.
We've got a good pool of players to pick from. And as I say, for an inexperienced team, they gave everything to Jamaica, to the supporters, to each other to get this result.
Two questions, coach. Just to follow up on Roger's question. He asked about how do you want to do this one? I'm not sure of the answer, because I can't tell anybody how Jamaica wants to play. That's one. Two, you spoke about inexperience here for our first the final round. we had a year to build a squad. Why are we at this stage now where with 8 players out, our squad of 26?
Yeah.
We have a number of inexperienced players. Why?
Yeah. Injuries.
All right, so Burnett was oh yes, Owen gave it away in the comment section. I was gonna have my big reveal, but it is Ian Burnett, long time observer writer. I think Owen is saying he's now with the Caribbean News Network. I just know him as an observer person, but I know that was a previous place, so he might not be there anymore. So I will go with Owen's thing, but I know it's Ian Burnett. And yes, it is him talking. I think why the mix-up with the Jamal was when the back and forth between Ian and Simon begins after McLaren starts the answer and Burnett will chime in, which I'm about to play now. He does say Jamal's name to ask if he had a question, trying to get Jamal to kind of, ask his question because Ian Burnett basically lost his chance. So that's where the mix-up of Jamal. So Jamal, your name is going out there and getting tarnished in public. Right here on Jason Gooner TV, let's clear it up. Jamal, it wasn't Jamal, people. It was not Jamal. It's Ian Burnett. All right. So Jamal, Jano. So J. Ross, this is not the press conference that was put out on JFF Live's YouTube channel. It was the video version had this cutout. The audio version that was sent out first to like media members is where this part of the press conference would have come from. So some people might not have heard this yet, but I obviously have this file. So I always said when I was going to do my breakdown, I would include it because I do think that it was a bit telling because it was a few firsts in this whole back and forth. And I also had a little reaction to the question itself and the fallout from the question. So yeah, JFF Live left this part out, Why so angry? Who is angry? Me? Oh, Eagle Republic. Unseen and that was what surprising. That's what was surprising, Rob Smith. I'm like, then MG no film all of them press conference them from them start do. So him not get one. It's a bit strange. All right, let's see. Oh, you heard it last night? Where you heard it, Rob? I didn't think it was on the JFF site. Yeah, that's the main thing Rika done. If you're trying to have a hard-hitting question, at the very least, let's make it have sense. Let's just not have a viral moment for foolishness. I mean, that's the part about it that's like weird, Okay, Ryan got it with the quickness. All right, cool. Yeah, I had it from last night, but obviously I didn't go live last night, so but as you see, some people never hear it because Jairus looks like he never even know which press conference this is. So yeah.
No, injuries with 8. That's what expected seats.
That's 8. And that's 8 first team players who play in the team regular for the last year.
What your second best left, the second best right, the second best number 6. This
Injuries as well. Amari Bell is also injured as well.
Yeah, so all right. So Simon, I would do have to address you a little bit as well. So I understand that like I guess you had to get control of the situation. So I understand that part. But I think you kind of almost it could have become even more of a back and forth. The fact that you decided to jump in and basically speak for the coach, saying that player is out, he's a left back, this player is out, he's a right back, and blah blah blah. I wish you had kind of let the coach get him because I think this was good in that the coach, I think, has been very, very gracious with everybody that asks questions. Man will ask the same question in 2 different ways 5 times in a row, and the man still, that's a very good question, and him answer the question. This is the first time I think the man said, listen, man, I'm tired of this now. When I chat foolishness. And I rate that. I rate that it show me him have something about him. He must, he have a backbone. Because to me, you can see that he's a player's coach. And I just worry sometimes with some of the players and how they play. You got to, sometimes you can't just do that all the time. You have to have a little bit of a fear factor. Obviously, they're professional players. They're big man. They're not going to be afraid of you. but you have to have some kind of power, you know. And I don't know if that's, I'm not saying that's his style and that needs to be his style, but at the same time, even if you're a player's coach, you have to be able to switch on the players at moments. And I don't know if I've seen that from the coach. And I'm only taking that from how I see him in public operate with the media and the amount of patience he has with some of these questions. But I'm glad that he had a backbone here.
Yeah. So sorry?
Jamal, do you have a question? That's the fourth question. So if you want him to respond, you let him respond.
All right. So I see people asking what he really asked. So let me try to get the audio again because I have stopped a few times.
Two questions, Coach. Just to follow up on Roger's question. He asked about how do you want to play? That's one. I'm not sure about the answer because I can't tell anybody how Jamaica wants to play. That's one. Two, he spoke about inexperience here for our first two games of the final round. We had a year to build a squad. Why are we at this stage now where with 8 players out, our squad of 26?
Yeah.
There are a number of inexperienced players. Why?
Yeah. Injuries.
No, injuries with 8. Our squad is 26.
Yeah, that's 8. And that's 8 first team players who play in the team.
All right. So before they start going back and forth, if you never heard, basically he just said, if someone were to ask me what Jamaica style of play is, I still don't know what it is. So basically questioning, you know, what kind of philosophy and style that the coach has implemented. And then he went on to say, basically paraphrasing, why is it that you're talking about inexperience when we're a year into a World Cup qualifying cycle and we have players that you're labeling as inexperienced playing? And he said, because we have 8 injuries out of a 26-man squad to 8 players who normally play or start, right? And that would lend to having to use some more inexperienced players. And he's not understanding how that's the case. So again, if you're going to have a viral moment in the press conference, please don't make it be about you not having a good enough base knowledge of what you're asking, because I don't know what your gripe is. If we have 8 players out, that's 8 positions on the pitch. So even if you're saying that your backups and your starters need to be experienced players, basically. So this man, Ian, would like to have 26, 30-year-olds, because clearly in a squad of 26, you're going to have some younger players who are going to be more inexperienced. Just so happens we have to use more of them this window.
Regular for the last year.
What about your second best left back, the second best right back, the second best number 6? This
Injuries as well. Amari Bell is also injured as well.
Yeah. So sorry?
Jamal, do you have a question? That's a fourth question. So if you want him to respond, you let him respond. So that was a fourth question. Excuse me, I'm moderating the press conference. Yes, but you've interrupted.
Yeah, but what?
I'm not interrupting.
You're interrupting.
Simon. What exactly is the point of the question?
I'm saying you're speaking about inexperience here. This is our second game in the final round. But a year to prepare a squad to get into the final round. Why are we talking about inexperience now with just 8 players being injured?
With just 8?
With just 8.
Just 8?
8 of 26.
Andre Blake.
It doesn't matter the names. It's just 8.
It's 8 first team players of experience.
Players who have been developing for the past year.
This is what we've brought. That's a poor question.
Really?
Because 8 are in who normally play. Andre Blake, Ethan Pinnock, Bell, Bobby Reid, Leon, Damari Gray, and Warner Brown.
Yeah. So what about second 11?
You've just seen them.
So why are we talking about inexperience with the second 11? That's a question.
Because they're inexperienced.
Coach.
Whoa, what a bad question.
All right, so he said, Jamal, could you go ahead, please? And everyone thought that man's name was Jamal, but for the record, that was Ian Burnett talking. And believe me, I know it. He probably thought that when he thought about the question in his mind, I'm sure he was thinking that, yes, this will get a rise out of the coach and we'll get a response and blah, blah, blah. I can write my article. Don't think he would have thought the coach would have said that's a bad question and him and Simon would have a back and forth. But honestly, you know, I say this all the time, right? If you're in a press conference, typically this type of press conference, you're going to get 1 question or 2 if there's 2 people there, the player and the coach. And you have to try to ask a question that you don't feel after the answer will need a follow-up. That's the main thing I try to do. So yes, some people might hear my questions in the press conference and say, oh, you know, that was kind of lollipop or whatever the case was, but you can't really get so much out of that environment that you would want, because people are used to this type of setting. Let's grill you for 2 hours and we can ask you everything in Chinese, English, Spanish, every language. But in that setting, you have to really let the time count. And so you have to ask a direct question that can offer a direct-ish answer, because obviously they can't just give you a one-word answer, right? So that to me is the hardest part, trying to get the most information packed into one question without, leaving too much open. So you want to have it directed at something in particular. So yeah. No, I do not think it was a good question at all, because his argument doesn't make sense. He's saying, how can we be talking about inexperienced players when we've had a year to prepare for the final round? But what this man failed to realize is, if 8 players are out and those 8 players would have been playing, chances are the rest of the squad aren't the sick. Like, who would have been on the bench against Dominica and Damrep in the start of World Cup qualifying could be totally different now. That's the nature of international football. That's why you have a pool of players, and it depends on the moment and the time who you can call for each window. So you can't just continuously call the youngsters every window and develop them, because you're still trying to win the damn game. So you need the experience with it as well. Exactly. So no, I don't think that the question was good. I'm interested to hear your thoughts though. I'm trying to send. Let me see. I know I have it. There we go. All right, let me send you. All right, check your IG. Check your IG, bro. Jordan in the building. Big up. Yeah, World Championship this weekend. Jaja. Early morning Sunday, I think is the final, 100, and then I guess the next day, women. Even though the Jamaica people don't be that even business with women, them to royal card. Them wicked. I've seen worse. I just saw Brazil media in a press conference told Ancelotti that he's biased. How is he not playing Rafinha? Oh, we can come from Madrid. Is it because he's an ex-Madrid player? Ancelotti turn red. Big up Jordan. Alright, let me see. Alright, I'm gonna send you the link too. Yeah, bro. So that was quite a scene yesterday, people. Was very surprised that it took that turn, but sometimes that's how emotions run. So it's the final.
Good evening, everybody. We're joined with the head coach of the Jamaica Senior Men's National Team, Coach.
Sorry? We conceded 3 goals, although offside. Does that concern?
3.
Yeah, 3 offside. Does it concern? Did you see anything that concerned you?
Hey, the man them still arguing back going, man said, don't try that again here. I wonder if Simon, I don't know.
The team because we're going to face Curacao in the next game. A tough opposition. Are you at all concerned about?
You think Curacao are tougher than Trinidad? You think the Garcia is not a dangerous player? Sealy, Spicer. I know they're missing Mourinho and people like that, but they've got good play. Very fast, very quick, very technical. And they're always going to create opportunities and chances, which they did. That's football. You get a clean sheet by defending well, but also having some luck, which we did. So I'm trying to be positive about going forward after 6 points and a good start to, and not worrying about what's been in the past for the last year. And and what about where have these inexperienced players been? It's where we are now that we've had to cope, and the players who have come in have done a great job the last 10 days. We've been through a lot to get here, a lot to come together, and we've had players drop out even in the last couple of days. We've had to add other players, and we've got the likes of Mason Holgate who got injured, and looking at him play tonight, we had to bring Steve. So credit to the players for the camaraderie that they had coming together and what they showed on the field. And what do you want to see? You want to see fight. What we are, the way we play, we don't need possession, but we have such speed, and we have such speed on the wide areas that they're exciting players. Every time CFAS gets it, the crowd get up. Jaheem the same. We've got Warner Brown, we've got Ganamatri now. Shamar's come in, and the 2 games that he's come on, he's done really well. So I'm really pleased with the squad that we put together. But I do know that, 2 weeks ago, having 8 injured, we were looking at a difficult 2 games, which we've come through.
Thank you very much, everyone. Really appreciate it.
All right, so that is the full press conference. As I said, got a bit heated there at the end. He's a very, very experienced journalist as well. So, yeah. All right, cool. So we'll have somebody black stage right now that I'm gonna let on the program. I think they want to share their thoughts about this, among other things, I guess. So let's see what they have to say about what we just heard. Let me see if there's a way to. Okay, I'll do it this. Big up to King from Ball Free TV in the building. What's up, my bro?
Oh, well, bro. Bless up to everybody. I hear me clear?
Yeah, man, we can hear you clearly.
Big up yourself, Jason. It's been a while coming. Big up yourself to everybody in the comment section. So, bro, it was, first and foremost, bro, it was like a whirlwind of emotions with me with the whole game. Because, again, I spoke to a few persons from the JFF after what, and then I was told that we were supposed to have a meeting. But most of the YouTubers weren't accredited to go to the press conference, as you could clearly see, because if you could see the questions that were asked, it was majority.
And I think I know the voices pretty well. I didn't hear any of them. So, yeah.
None. So, it was kind of poetic in a way where that happened when that happened, if you get what I say.
Yeah, and I don't want to kill the train of thought, but I just thought of something. When this came out, the overall vibe and news that I was hearing is that's why them new media man are not day in a press conference, And I had to shoot that down right away as a new media member.
Really?
Because I'm saying I don't know that voice as a YouTuber or a new media person.
Yeah.
So, but that's crazy though that people immediately wanted to go towards that line of thinking, But anyway, continue.
Yeah, it was ironic, as I say, that was the first thing, because I didn't hear it, to them hear it, because as I said, I listened to the press conference yesterday. I literally didn't hear it. I heard this after I had the conversation with the JFF, because I reached out to them. I'm like, yo, what going right there? So this not feel right, because honestly, bro, the feeling was that, yo, we are putting this bag of work, and we get so close to the World Cup and felt like we're being cut out of it. So I reached out to a couple of people, them say, all right, then them give them explanation, and them say, they might find a way for actually make it work. You get me? I say, because I guess they have some issues with how we are the things, and they might figure it out, right? So, me did already get that response, so me good. Then we gonna get that video. Somebody sent me the video. I'm like, yo, this go on. So I just irony of it, bro. If you get what I say, it was so ironic.
So hold on. Are you telling me that this was what happened was not no miscommunication? You guys were told that for this particular game you won't be able to get an accreditation?
No, I reached out and I was told that I wasn't accredited, and I'm like, yo, this is the weirdest thing because I'm like, yo, Inter Miami accredit me. Like, I could have figured it out. It made sense,
So
bro.
did,
So
did
I was like,
anything
yo,
about did anything about the accreditation process for this particular game change?
no. As I say, I reach out and I get a little clearance. You get me? I say them, I guess something for do with CONCACAF, etc., etc. I don't know, but that was what I was told. So I was told that we're gonna have a meeting and then things are gonna iron out better, yada 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 yada. That was what I was told, bro. So at the end of the day, I must say, all right, then I wait for a meeting, I wait for things for him. But then it's just so ironic. I just irony of it, me I talk about, bro. Like after I'm done reason with the man them, I was sent this. I'm like, yo, this is a poetic justice in a way, bro. Because at the same thing, I guess, I don't know, probably some similar things along the line. But it's just so ironic that it happened, bro. But for me, and I don't know, I've never like done this before. I thought it was some weak questions. Me not lie. I mean, no ask some questions. Me know you ask questions. And sometimes when I ask the best question, sometimes we think so question good. But I thought it was some weak questions. I heard that question I asked before was like, coach, I know it can get better, it can get worse.
Yeah,
come
I
on.
was so
What else it can get? No, like what else it can get?
Yeah, I was so
Bro,
confused.
I was like,
And honestly, if I'm being honest, right, when it's a mixed setting where it's traditional and new media, if you were to do a poll amongst fans, which questions are the ones that they gain the most from, I can guarantee you it's going to lean more towards the new media because it's clear we are a little more in tune. I won't even say a little, we're a lot more in tune with what's going on with the players and the coach and even the opponents and everything about the game. And what's surprising to me is that the JFF, regardless of what they may think in terms of, you know, the pedigree or the status of some of the new media, surely they must realize that they have let the football gain a lot of momentum. Because look, I'm doing a show in another place, not even in Jamaica. 158 people here thinking I'm important to listen to, and probably will get a whole bunch of views when the show done. So they need to realize that like our voices are important in this whole thing. I can tell you right now that the man who asked the question in the comments, the man who had the back and forth yesterday, he is not making a YouTube video about Jamaica football anytime soon. And I'm not saying that YouTube is the only medium to get the word out there, but it's one that they need not neglect because it's very, very important right now. So, you know, I don't understand why they wouldn't be. I'm not saying they have to like, you know, create this whatever for you guys, but at the same time, they must realize the value you bring and try to bring you into the table, you know?
Yeah, I just organize it, and I guess that's the conversation today. The end of it was that it's gonna be organized and in a way where things can be clear as to standards and guidelines. Because again, for me, we go overseas as well, go see what it is like. Me get my email, it was clear where to go, where not to go. You get me? I say what can do, where can video, where can. So those things are clear, and you have somebody there also. As much as them send me that information, there was somebody there to tell me that to still just watch you, like somebody oversee. You can't go here. So those things are pretty simple, bro. For us, put them in a place. Now, as I say with the whole questioning, bro, I just define it amazing. As I said, with the blend there, we are more informed. And that's also true because it comes down to this. You have reporters and you have what you call them, producers. So sometimes 99% of the times at the producer them, I tell the reporters them for ask these questions when it comes on to traditional journalists. So sometimes remember these journalists are cover a wide variety of sports.
Everything.
So probably them not as in tuned. So it is what it is, bro.
Well, look,
We are studying the game. We're gonna research something. So we are more in tune, dog, and it is just what it is, bro.
yeah, but it shows in the questions like who is more in tune. I'm telling you, if we did some kind of poll of football fans, they would tell you that you know, you put your name, Cranky name, my name, you know, who has been in there from new media, MG, Knockins, all of them. And then you put like some journalists like, you know, Ian Burnett and the others. I'm telling you who they would vote for as the better damn questions. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but may I tell you something else, bro? And this is my experience. I've been to press conference before where I feel like I am the little, you call it, little pebbles. So you can see the difference between I am big, I am mighty because I am, you call it now, I am original media. Who are you, little
Yeah.
pebbles around there? So you get, I go in the room and I feel that way. And when I done ask my question, I know some of my question are probably one of the better questions of the night. And I'm like, yo, why is the feeling this way?
Well, look,
Because probably
here's the thing about you. You have to remember, you know, this is not something that's Jamaica centric. Because if you look around the sphere of like football coverage in general, it's only up to, I'd say, 2 years or 3 years ago that, like, in England, for example, all the content creators with their fan channels, now they're being integrated onto the main platforms. But 4 or 5 years ago, they wanted to eradicate them. So maybe, like most other things, Jamaica is just late to the party. And eventually, they're going to realize that we have to be included. You know, because to me, if you're doing any kind of social media push with Jamaica, the first people I would go to are the people that have Jamaica football content that live in Jamaica. And they kind of did that because we saw a couple of YouTubers in there. But I mean, the more the merrier. Like, you know, I'm not saying you have to be employed by them, because obviously a part of what makes us separate from the regular media is that we don't really have a filter. At least I know that's how I am. I can't speak for everybody else. A lot of people in the comment section probably going to laugh at that and say, boy, JC, you know, say enough other man they compromise, you know, star. I know, so I couldn't even go against that, you know. I just can't speak for myself. But I'm just saying the partnerships can be better. Like, again, perfect example. I don't care what guidelines CONCACAF have for media. The press officer, Simon, and the JFF themselves should have made arrangements for all the reputable ones. I'm talking the ones who have been in press conferences before, who have done things before. They should have been in there to ask their questions, and that's unacceptable. What you're telling me today is unacceptable, bro.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying I want to fix things, so I could see how that work out, isn't it?
But like you said, not like karma for the slapping.
Yeah, that was karma, bro. Honestly, that was karma.
Because it sounds like a part of why this would have happened is they are worried that it's not controlled enough. Well, here you go with your people that you thought would be so well mannered and behaved, and look what happens.
Yeah, that's the ironic part, and that's I'm even say me a father and bro, for just point out the irony, cause it's just ironic in a way, just so ironic. But funny thing about it, you know, I've been in press conferences before. Again, I think the squad. Remember the squad when the squad just dropped?
Yeah.
That press conference, right? Because I was using my phone to stream, so I was trying to remember each names, and I had to borrow somebody's phone to get the names and view, so I could really formulate my question. And again, I really thought that the squad dropped, and there were not a lot of questions about the squad. There are questions even
a lot
about
of generic questions, right?
Yeah, I'm like, yo, it's like Sekiasi said, these are questions that came down from producers and it's generic. But I don't want to straight the show no more, bro. I just
No, man, I appreciate that interjection to just get some clarity, because I was even asking at a point, like, what is the real deal with why there were none? So I'm glad that you let me know that. I didn't really know the full 100 of the story. I just knew that you guys didn't get any accreditation, and I just found that to be crazy, because I'm like, if anybody going to know how to do that, is them, man, because they're probably more in tune with it than anybody else. And I just knew something was weird that not even one of you. I could understand if one or a few, but yeah, all of them, no, that seemed like a planting.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro. But yo, good win. And again, we have a lot to say, but I don't know you're sure this, so I'm not even want to fast forward it.
No, well, look, I was actually now that I'm through the post match press and all of that, the next thing I was gonna do was just go through player ratings for the match. So I mean, you're more than welcome to stay and give your thoughts on the players. Just gonna run through the
Yeah.
players real quick, give the my thoughts of how they did and everything, and then we can go from there. So yeah,
Yeah,
you're
man, there, man. But the only
you're
thing is me I travel, so me put myself on mute when me I drive. But here's the thing also, and this is something I must point out. I think that you get a different experience when you're in the stadium. Cause I don't know if you see a lot of things. I know say on TV you see a lot of things, but in the stadium, Jason, me I tell you, some things you happen in the stadium, I'm not sure if you really see them things up on TV. And when I go through the player ratings, me I gotta explain something what me seeing at the stadium and being there. And then it a kind of sound crazy. But if you're there in the stadium, you can't relate. You see me? I'm say it like where you go through it. I sit down around people where I ask, who is that brother there? Who is that person there? Who that brown man there? Because that brown man around the place now, Who brown man? And you have to explain which part brown man and who brown man and which part him play. Because again, a lot of the match going fans, even though most of them are known now because we would have said it, but them still not connect to the faces as yet. But when a Kaim Dixie come on and them say, oh, Kaim Dixie that, them know him from high school days. You get a different reaction to like a known face. You get me? I say that's something I noticed, but
yeah. I mean, look, there's really no way to change that dynamic. I don't think. All you can do is when they come, you hope that they perform well, because I think, like you said, I think two things need to happen in Jamaica for you to be loved as a player. The first thing, you have to perform, obviously. The second thing, once you get to the status of them giving you a nickname, sometimes it's a nickname where you probably not even want, but trust me, it's a term of endearment to all the players that watch these shows. Don't feel no way if them give you a nickname when you like. Having a nickname is like a rite of passage in Jamaica. Now, obviously, I'd rather them call you Messi or something like that, but if not, get the brown man and run with it, because that means that is how you'll be known. Yeah, they will know your name, that Bailey Kadamar Terry thing, but trust me, they're going to butcher your name anyway. So, brown man, work with it and just know them give you a nickname. That's a good thing, bro. That's actually a good thing.
Facts.
But yeah, so MF have a question for you. Him say, what were your observations of the training that you got to attend pre the last match?
All right, so the one thing that stood out to me the most was when John Russell said wet bread. So I'm like, yo, John Russell well in tune, but the vibe within the camp, bro, the vibe is nice. So I remember last camp, it was made to say that what Bailey said, the camp no nice again and blah blah blah. But the vibe, the camaraderie between the players, bro, it was like a brotherness, a togetherness again. And for me, that I can always stand out. To me. Like every man just a vibe. It was like me the back a Manning Cup camp. I get a Manning Cup camp vibe with the bridging them again. So that vibe there really stood out to me. Second thing was you have some man where as much as a Rondo in a play, you have some man who play Rondo in a fifth gear. You see me? Some man when I tell them I want left man I got injured, man. Cause some man I play, you see me, it was competitive as well, as much as it probably not see him so, but you could have see the competitiveness there as well. So those are probably two things I can think about off the top of my head me that recall from the training. The vibe nice. Trust me, the vibe nice. What's a wet bread? Exactly. Me I say wet bread, yo, what John Russell know about wet bread? Is it?
So what
John Russell know about wet bread?
I don't even know that. What that mean?
Wet bread, I just want to say in Jamaica, say you're soft. Because remember, say wet bread soft, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, I was thinking it was something like that, but we never want to assume because, man of Jamaica make up things when it makes sense more while sometimes, So I figured that was the most obvious thing, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, just a slang, man. Yeah, wet bread, man.
All right. So from him, I use some new slang, say him in tune.
Yeah, man, them connected, man. And unks. Probably want to know this as well. Who's unks? When me hear unks, me like, yo, that's tough still. You know what unks, so?
Well, I would think Antonio.
Yeah. Unks. I'm like, yo, the man, them. It's a good vibe, man. I like the vibe, bro. I was just there.
Yeah, at first, man, I heard I wanted to wet bread, but it makes sense. See, Eagle Republic said, what the heck is wet bread? All right, so let me get down into some more football business now because we are run upon a timing where I kind of gonna run over my time still, but it's all good. Let's see. So let me get the Jamaica. First and foremost, people, the group lock up after 2 games. You see on the screen, Jamaica in first, 6 points. Key thing, I think, 6 goals, none conceded. So that is like perfect, ideal right there. Goal difference also, as well as the point differential. Curacao pull out the 3-2 after a nil all. So they're on 4 points with a +1. So that's a nice gap there, +6 to +1. Then Trinidad on 1 point with the draw and the loss to us. And Bermuda struggling 2 losses from their games, conceding 7, scoring 2. So that's how it went. Now let's just look overall at the statistics of the game and then we'll break down each player. All right. So in the game, this was the possession stats 55 to 45. I actually predicted this to be so, even though we're at home. I just had a feeling that McLaren would not prioritize the ball, even though in the press conference he mentioned he wants more possession. I think he's totally fine with this number right here because I think, you know, our true strength, if you really break it down, we need space behind the other defense to actually create chances most of the time. So letting a team come on us with possession, I don't think is the worst thing in the world for our actual team. I don't know if you agree or disagree with that, King, but it's something that I've noticed. Like, we almost score more goals when we have less possession in games, I swear. If you look at like the Cuba game, the Dam Rep game, like a lot of these games we dominate possession, we don't score. But then the games where the other team have the ball, we score. So I don't know. I think it has to do with the fact that our countering ability is better than any other ability we have as a team to attack. And we need space behind a team to actually hurt them.
Yeah, that make perfect sense as well, Jason. In all honesty, I never did think about it that way before. I think about it as we actually controlling teams out of possession of the ball, which the coach had also mentioned, and I think that we did well in a sense because even the goals them with them scoring, because them say Jamaica lose 3-2, you know, three offside, them say offside 3, Jamaica 2, and that them say yesterday. But even the goals them were conceded, most of them were from like unforced errors.
Yeah.
So I think we control them for most part, especially when time Karai come on and Kaim Dixon. I think we didn't give up a big chance after that. I can't recall Lena Stadium. So we basically control them when we were out of position for the most part. So I think that was what I was looking at mostly. But as it relates to giving them the ball and lowering the space behind them, that's an excellent spot. That's an excellent spot for it.
Yeah. So yeah, just moving on in the stats real quick. 2 saves each, 7 corners for Jamaica, 6 to Trinidad. I want to say that at least 5 of those corners were in the first half, in the first spell. And then we had, you know, the passing pretty close, 366 attempts to Trini, 393 for us. We were more active in the tackling. Let me see what I go on. Let me mute King for a second. And we have Marlon here as well. Big up yourself, Marlon. Just a run through the stats. But you come the right time because we're going to talk about the player them as well. Let me see. I can't unmute, I guess. Okay. So you can unmute it already. But big up Marlon in the building as well. But let me continue with the stats real quick.
Bless up, Jason. Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, man, we can hear you well, Marlon. So, yeah, man, I'm going to bless up Marlon in the chat. I'm going to there for break down the players as well. So, let's just move on and just continue with the stats real quick. So, as I said, we are outshot by 3, slightly outpossessed as well. But then the main metrics now, I think the points metrics now coming in the shots on target, we had 2 more on target than them. Of course, they don't register the 3 shots on target by Levi Garcia that scored because he was offside. You know, they had more shots off target than we did. We both had 5 block shots. We both had 7 shots inside the box. They had a few more outside the box than we did. So that's that separation of 3 shots right there. They did have 1 through ball that converted. We didn't have any, which I find incredibly strange because I remember Tyrese Campbell running onto a through ball and a few other people. So I don't know why we wouldn't get more registered there. We had 9 more touches in the box, the offsides. Then you look at the passing. Final third passing, pretty much even. The entries dead even. So we won the game 2-0, but a lot of people, I think it was a game of spells. Like we had the first spell, they had the second spell. We scored actually against the runner play when we scored. And I'd say even the second goal was a little bit against the runner play. Not as much because we kind of flipped the tide a little once Dixon and Carroy came in right before that second goal. And I'm going to talk about that as coach rating as well, that he did a better job in this window overall of being more proactive with the substitutions, and the subs made sense and impacted the game, which we couldn't say that about all the subs in the past. Maybe the timing of them been a little bit late in the past. I think Jamaica was very, very good in take-ons yesterday. As you can see, the percentage double what they were, 10 out of 16. Another thing that I thought was worth pointing out is the long passes in the game. So if you remember in the Bermuda game, I think we went long about 42 times. And in this game, we actually went long about up to 25 times more. I think part of that is I just feel like in the stadium at times we don't have as much confidence to play through pressure. It's more of a default to clear. I think in Bermuda we took a few more risks in possession than in this game. But honestly, I feel like because we had a few little lapses in the defensive third passing the football, I'm not really going to knock us for going long so many times. I just feel like, it wasn't a night to be playing games back there because we got away with fire a few times thanks to the offside flag. So, yeah, the long passes, as I said, going into the game, I didn't think we were going to outpossess them. I thought that we were going to just try to put an emphasis on getting the fast breaks, getting Cephas Campbell on the ball, getting Kadamateri in space on the ball, try to attack them that way. So that's kind of what happened. All the rest of it is pretty much defensive stats. We had more tackles, more interceptions, very similar recoveries. We had more clearances. So a very, very even statistical game for the most part, but the biggest stat, 2-0 to Jamaica, really and truly. That's basically what happened there. But we're a good value for the win. I thought, like McLaren said in the press conference, we did a good enough job controlling the game for the most part. But as you can see in the attack momentum and what I said earlier, there were definitely swings and ebbs and flows to the game. I thought once we went up 2-0, I would have loved us to have a little more control after that. But I think it was to be expected. Trinidad really went for it, subbed on every attacking player they pretty much brought to the game. And Jamaica subbed on some more defenders. So it was always going to be a little bit more defensive outlook from us in the second half towards the end. So all in all, quality win, 6 points. Happy about that. And just real quick, I know King kind of talked a little bit about the game, and I did. So Marlon, just give me like a little analysis of the game from your point of view, and then we'll just run through some player ratings for the players.
Yeah, man, big up everyone and bless up everyone in the chat tonight. Even as I just said from yesterday that main ultimate objective was getting 3 points, and we achieved that, right? And even yesterday morning, and when JD was doing the show yesterday morning, we were saying that, so guess what? It's a result game now, so it's not really based in the game on pretty football or position based, right? Sometimes you have to be more direct, and I think we were that, but I think we still need to do better with the ball in the midfield. It took us literally almost 9 minutes for us to really link up 5 plays, right? And that started with our defense knocking it through. KC Palmer opening up the play for with Ian Bailey Kalamatiri. One touch with finding Cephas wide. I think Cephas first touch let him down, took him wide. So
that play was like so perfect until the ball touched Cephas' foot, man. Jeez.
So, but we all know like persons who know Spicer and Sealy and what they both of them have been doing in MLS right now. We know that they are direct wingers, right? And I think Garcia as well. And I think York will have to for Trinidad to really even improve more. I think Dua York have to really take a stand and say, guess what? I have 3 good wingers. What I must do with them? Because we all know that Garcia's strength is on the right hand side, where he get the cut in on his left foot. and playing them as a number 9, I think it's hurting Trinidad. Right?
Yeah, no,
Anybody who knows the player, watch the player from me, come through youth football to Akmar in Holland, they know that's his strength. So I think that's a weak point for him. But let's say still glad for the 3 points. Players assessment, I think Greg Lee had a monster game. I think probably the best game in a Jamaican shirt. Defensively was good. Was also crucial in going attack as well. Dexter as well at right back. Had a one-on-one takeout with Spicer, right? A lot of persons said he beat him a lot of the time. He got beaten one time on the field. He got Jimmy Pass one time on the field, and it was by Kyle Everett.
in the
Right?
second
So
half.
the second half, yeah. So I think our duels we stay compact with the duels. So so although you might beat the Jimmy Pass the player, right? The player still with you, so you don't go anywhere. So I think that, and for once, I think we have VAR on our side.
Yeah.
Remember the first 2 games that VAR was using the stadium. Demalu got a red card, and Costa Rica got a penalty. So I think for once, but the 3 offside said,
To be honest, in Kingston, VAR been our friend, because the last time Shamar offside goal did score, you remember that against Canada?
Yeah.
So it looked like VAR our friend. As long as VAR are playing at Kingston, we're all right. Everywhere else, VAR against me.
Remember after the USA game, that low goal was struck off, and he came back. He got a yellow card, and upgraded to a red card against Mexico.
Yeah, so maybe it's
And then, and then in the next game against Costa Rica, a penalty was called by VAR again. So I said for once it works on our side, right? But I said still, overall the performance, I'm not gonna go and say it's 100. I grade it between 65 to 70. There are a lot of stuff we could have done to basically improve, right? And as the coach said, when you look at it, you're basically playing with those 7 starters, right? You said Warner Brown is a starter. I don't have Warner Brown there, so right. But you said you're missing APS.
Hey, one thing, McLaren did I make sure if slide in one name in every convoy, brother. I mean, I said to myself, boy, this man really
But
think one round is the best damn striker we have, man.
no, statistically, all right. So based on where I come from, Jason and Marlon, is that because I had to do this. If you check the last 5 games we played before,
Yeah, I know. I know.
he was a
I know
starting
that.
striker. So if
Yeah,
you say a starter, if he was a starting striker, yeah.
Yeah, man. I totally understand that, right? But what I say still, when you go and assess it and analyze everything, I think losing experience, and a lot of person when you said the squad is inexperienced. Isaac Hayden is experienced at club level, but he's still pretty new to international football. A lot of person don't see that, right? You're basically looking at CFAS is still new to international football, right? So and then you bring Kyle Dixon, who has I think 15 cap now, right? So get it, but it's the second year of international football as well, right? So when you're losing a Bobby Reid, a 7-year veteran there, Bailey out as well, Pinnock over 4 years of international football as well. So I think a lot of person don't really see the value of those players. Blake has been there over 10 years, right? You cannot buy experience. So I think this window, and me and Jason, we had this conversation when Blake went down. The same time I messaged him and said, Blake is out. I'm concerned, right? Same when Dimi got that tackle against Leicester and came up holding his shoulder. I said it wasn't good. then the Sunday, the Saturday afternoon, I got that message. I'm like, okay, let's keep it on a wrap, right? When Bill went down though, that was like, okay, we're in problem, right? But to see the players step up still, I think it was a good window for King. I think Shamar, if we're talking about players who wanted this window, I think Shamar, King as well, because he hasn't been getting the minutes at club level. So basically, we can look at that as well. So I think Shamar came in, scored a goal, had some good opening as well. So I think the window worked well for him. Kaim as well, showing that playing at the club level now, basically giving that confidence going through. So looking forward. As I say, it's an excellent winner for us, just as I predicted.
Yeah, it's 6 from 6. I mean, can't really expect more. As I said, the performance can always be better, but at the end of the day, there's no performance World Cup. His points gonna get you there. So, we have to be thankful for the 6. All right, so let's get into the players that played now. So first in goal, Jamali Wait. I will look, people. I'm gonna lay some ground rules for the scores. All right. We know all of us go to Fat Mob and Sofa Score and all these places. We don't want up 7.8 and a 8.2 and just give me whole number 0.5 people. Just keep it simple so we can get a nice average. What am I gonna do? The panelists will give them score for the players. If you don't want, you can talk a little bit about the player and them performance as well. And then in the comment section, we'll go and see what go on and see what the score them is, and we'll try to get the average. All right. So in goal, Jamali Wait. For me, I think one of the players, no, if you want to get 7.3, I'm going to round it to the closest thing. So you're going to waste your time. So Jamali Wait, for me, right, I think one of the things that surprised me about him in this window, when he first got the job from Blake, I remember people saying, because Jamaicans react crazy whenever anything happens. So when Wade started to play, we said, rotted, because the man can find people with him foot at distance. Him kick better than Blake. Him look a little bit better passing out the ball. That was the first initial reaction. Then that's when the sample size was really small. But as the game start to continue, and you see more of him playing each game, you say, rotted. Maybe he's good with his feet, but maybe he's not as good as we thought, right? And then more things start to show up. The main thing I didn't like about Wade always is just the physical stature. He don't look like a big imposing keeper. So that's a worry for me, right? Normally, if you're that size, you're incredibly athletic. And he's a decent athlete because he does have some spring to get to the high crosses and stuff. But my main issue with him has always been his handling. Anytime a good shot take after the man, it seems like he parries into danger too often for me. And we saw it happen twice or a couple, maybe 3 times over this window, where a shot comes to him and he parries literally directly where the shot is coming from. No push wide to either side, nothing tipped over, nothing like that. If it's a low shot with power, he's probably going to parry it in front of him and hope that he can get back on top of it and cover it. One time Greg Lee saved him in the Bermuda game. One time the offside flag saved him in this game. So for me, Jamali Wait kept a clean sheet, so I can't kill him so much. But I think he was a part of some of the big chances we gave up. And if it wasn't for the flag, he would have conceded a few goals. So I'm going to say a 6.5. I know that's probably tough for a clean sheet, but I'm going to say a 6.5 because he didn't let in a goal. But boy, I wasn't convinced. What say you, Balpre?
So for me, again, being in a stadium, you get to see a different point of view. So one of the things that happened yesterday was that, especially in the second half, with nervousness, they kind of up way under pressure, and me just assume say nervousness because there's nothing else I can put in it. I just say the narrative is that he's good with his foot, and he seems like he's good with his foot. So I didn't know what was happening. And again, those shots where come hit him in his body and giving up the rebound. I just said Greg Lee saved us first game, and the second game the offside flag. Then the kicking, the stadium, every time him kick the ball long or try to pass the ball, you could hear the nervousness too. They could hear the rumblings in the stadium. And then one of the goals that were offside, as you rightfully said, it was, I know me that pass it was a sloppy pass right to the opposition. Yeah, we did win back the ball and Damien Nanalo try pass it to Greg Lee and it shot and then the man them liquid it and it the offside. But it all starts with the nervousness.
None of that part until we get to him, but yeah, true.
No, but no, what I explain is the nervousness started from Wade. And Wade was the first one with the bad pass to the opposition directly. So overall, I have to give him a 6 because again he did keep a clean sheet. And you have to get a clean sheet, there's some kind of ratings. But the nervousness when end up make company team that take off a lot of points. So that wasn't the way to what I expect, but him still keep a clean sheet in at the end. So I give him a 6.
Marlon, what you say?
Well, as someone was there as well, I agree with him, and that's the ratings I give him 6. It would have been literally a 5. The clean sheet,
Bump him up.
yeah, so he got an extra one for the clean sheet. Not conceding no goal. If if you look what the pros they gave him 7.2 and 7.5, right? But errors you cannot be keeping, and I think this is what his second, either second or third game playing in the stadium, as I can recall. Last year, I don't know if I think I remember last year against Damrep as well. He was very shaky.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if it's a Jamaican crowd, but if you look at him when he's playing those games away, he seemed more assured of himself. We saw it in the Copa America last year, right?
Marlon, I don't know, brother. The Dominica game, you remember the end of that game?
No, the Damrep game. No, I'm talking about the Damrep game and the Dominica game again. So the first game against Damrep he started off here and Bishan and Nana play around there with Gray and Greg Lee as well. That 4 back line, 4 of them there was literally shaky, right? And he went over back to Dominica again. So I think if you look at the game that he has played in, even in the Copa America last year, he seemed assured of himself.
Yeah.
But just recognizing again, being there last year, the match last year, and see how he performed again. It's the same thing as I saw last night. He seemed assured. He wasn't assured of himself there, as King was saying that he went long and he's going long, right? He gave out the ball to Rampassad in the midfield, right? I think it was poor from Rampassad. You saw the keeper like you take 3 touches off the ball to dribble. So by the time you end up to make, you're looking for a pass, he was already back in place. The one that he passed to Sealy, I don't even know what he was doing there, but there was actually 2 before that one as well. That he was, I want to say looking for Cephas, because they were nowhere close to Cephas.
Yeah.
So
Whenever he went
one
wide, he
more.
seemed to overhit it.
One thing real quick though, would you say Jamal Elliott is still inexperienced, like, or inexperience is the topic of the night? Because when I didn't know that Jamal Elliott never have how much caps him have in total? Would you say is inexperienced?
I think it's 16 or 17.
Yeah, look, I had this argument with someone earlier about the inexperience of Jamali Wait, and I said, listen, the fact that Jamali basically started our World Cup campaign, right, and also was able to play what I think was our toughest competition in the last year, which was at the Copa America. I'm not buying that it's inexperience why you would have looked that way.
And as
I
a
just,
Jason,
I just think that Jamali
totally,
Wait has some limitations as a player, and that's what it is.
As I'm wondering, is it the home crowd? Because when I'm assessing his performance, as I said, he come back to the Damrep game last year, and was sitting there last night. I said to someone that I am seeing the same thing he was doing the Damrep game last year in the first half. So
And
I don't know.
I'm saying, based on my memory, I'd have to watch the game back again. But I remember being very unconvinced after the Dominica game as well.
Yeah, that one.
Decisions off his line and everything.
Giving away the play.
You know, he had, I think he had maybe a good game at the Copa America. I thought the other 2 weren't so good. You know, so I've seen more performances from him out of the 16 that would make me say, I'm not sure than the ones that I say, yeah, man, can work with him, you know. And I think at the time when he first came in, the narrative was that we need a change from Blake, because Blake is a part of the reason why maybe we don't do certain things with the football, because he's so poor with his feet. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like we're just happy to have someone besides Blake who looked at the time to seem to be much better with his feet. And that has kind of not held to be true down the road. Now, somebody did make a point in the comment section that I don't think we should overlook. And that is that towards the end of the game, he was not able to kick the goal kicks anymore. So who knows? Maybe he's dealing with some kind of ailment in those areas that was preventing him from being able to kick the ball properly, because it did look really, really poor from him yesterday compared to what we have seen in the past. But yeah, it looks like overall, Jamali Wait gets, I would say, about a 6. I went 6.5. I think determined at the highest score at an 8, unless I missed someone else. But yeah, basically about 5.5, 6, 6.5 was the most things that I saw. I saw some 5s as well. But yeah, 8's the highest I saw, and I think 5 is the lowest I saw. So majority of them looking to be 6s. So I will go with a 6 for the average overall for weight. So weight get a 6 from the people and the panel. When we average it out, I'm gonna do it with pen. Come on, document these things, you know, people. All right, so let's go to the center back pairing. So let's go with the capo first. Let's go with Damian Lowe. And Damian Lowe, you can see what SofaScore gave him, but that's just what they think. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down and let the thing show. But who want to start out with D-Low? I don't have to go first every time. Damian Lowe, you guys there? I know Marlon turn off him camera, so maybe
Yeah, man, I'm here. Overall, a couple interception, made some tackles. Think he had like 1 or 2 block shots as well. What I have got, I think he has improved over the past 2 years. Remember back in 2021, he used to give away the ball a lot. I think you're basically seeing that basically falling aside drastically. So I give him 7 still. As I said, he come back to the mistake that the King alluded to early on, right? In that pass. But I think there's something still, and I said it last night at the game. I said, when you're leading a game and you want to keep control, right? Your defense, either you have to form a triangle with the keeper, right? You have to form a triangle with your keeper. So both of you cannot be standing in the same line. The two center back are in the same line. So you pass it back to the keeper, right? You need a triangle. Get the CDM involved, because that one was extremely poor. Right? It could have cost us. As I said, Garcia was way outside. Right? So I'll give him 7 still. I said I think it's a better performance than in Bermuda actually. And I think I'm gonna give him credit even more for not playing again over the past couple months, and to come and put in 90 minutes performance again. That's really good. So
yeah,
7 is my rating for him.
7. All right. King, we have to say about Nana. Head of state.
All right, so here's the thing about Nana Lowe. See, when time Nana Lowe play, and you can't remember Nana Lowe much in the game. All right, so you have some things where them say, your defensive midfielder, sometimes you know to see a defensive midfielder in a game. What's saying, go? What's a defensive midfielder and you'll see the game?
Yeah, if you watch a game and you don't notice the game, him play good.
Yeah, so that is Nana Lowe. Nana Lowe yesterday, I must say that he never have a lot of Nana Lowe actions. You get me? I say it wasn't him not rough up in the game, not fight with nobody per se. I can't remember them like you used to know say Nana was in the game. And sometimes you need some games like this. So I would say another captain's performance, apart from the one mistake, and again, I pardon him that mistake there for 2 things. 1, the goal never count, and 2, I think the nerves came from the bad kick from Jamal Wade. So it wasn't even nerves on him own. Him just pick up the nerves, because the nerves they start to run through from the bad kick. So may I give him a 7 again. May I give him a 7, as I say, it was a you call it an uneventful game from Damian Nana Lowe. And from it uneventful, we have to give Nana Lowe props. It's a clean sheet as well. 7.
Yeah, so look, I'm gonna also echo most of what you guys said. I think he deserves a lot of credit for the game yesterday. I think there were times when he took the safer option, which is fine. If you look at the stats and really analyze it, he only went long 5 times. So he wasn't the one really doing the bulk of the long passing. Marlon made a great point about losing possession. He didn't touch the ball an immense amount of times, just 42, but he only lost it 4 times. He was successful in every duel, which is what you want out of Nana Lowe in your back line. That's where he needs to thrive. And then when you look at his contribution defensively, actions, when you have 14 actions in a game, you're putting in a lot of work. So I mentioned that in my pairing on the back line, I always like to have a balance. If you look at Arsenal, my team, Saliba is the Rolls Royce, Gabriel is the Destroyer. This is how King and Low can function, and I think why it kind of works a little bit. Now, we need to improve, not saying it's like, perfect, but Damian Lowe, I think with him, if he's going to play in the back line with King, the problem to me is he also, I think what got him into trouble even on that pass to Lee is he don't trust his damn left foot. So he's trying to figure out a way to play the pass with his right foot when he need to open up his body and just play the pass with his left foot. There was even a play, I don't know if you guys remember, in the first half, he's running back and he wants to really clear the ball with his left foot, but he don't trust to swing it. So him just kind of pass it out of play with him left foot. And you see him when the ball is out doing the action, like trying to train his muscle memory to swing his left foot to clear the ball. But he's very uncomfortable on that side. So I'm going to give him an extra 0.5 than you guys because I think it really was bothering him to play on that left side throughout most of the game. And even at times, whenever they got crossed up, it seemed like he never wanted to switch back with King until the ball went out of play. So if you see right here where him have these touches on the right-hand side, people, I don't know if you can see my cursor moving, but it's when things would happen in the game and they would kind of have to switch. And Lowe would try to stay over there as long as possible, but King would be like, no, brother, come. You are the senior man. But yeah, I'm going to give Lowe a 7.5. I think he was immense in his challenges, duels, just definitely did his job. And he did play the captain's role well. He kept his composure. As I say, Lowe playing Trinidad, high intensity game, World Cup qualifier, and he never got a yellow card. So, I mean, we always say him is the walking red, the walking card, the walking everything. So I have to give him credit when him don't get one. Here the man, about Arsenal aside. Good. I talk about my centre back them. You tell me some centre back them not good. Move. You would have take both of them if you could. Tap your eyes. Nana will make CONCACAF team for this window. He'll be close. Because there was some 7.9s on defense out there and some. It depends if them go with a 3 back. As a matter of fact, maybe it's out, I did check earlier on, and it wasn't out. Let me see. Round 1. Okay, them don't put out round 2 yet. By tomorrow, it probably update. But yeah, 7.5 for me. What the people in the chat I say? 7, 6, 7, 7, 8.5. 6 for other bling game. Warren are going to put that down to a 7. 7.5 for I had one. 7, 7.5. 7.5. So it's basically between a 7 to a 7.5. Yeah, but them do it by each round though. I never get so much in the first game. 9.1. Who you talking about? He got one less. I think he got 7.6 the last time. Yeah, that's why I'm gonna give him an extra 0.5 because I think he would have played better if he wasn't on the left. And he still played well. So all right, so looks like Lowe get a solid 7. That's one where maybe the 0.25 would be needed, but for the most part, it's a 7, I think. Most people did 7 or 7.5. I think there was slightly a bit more 7s, and there was a 6 in there and an 8.5. So, yeah, kind of in between 7 and 7.5. So, all right, me give him the 0.5. Me go with what I said. All right, 7.5. So, the other CB, Richard King. So, people, let me know what you guys think about Richard King's performance. I think Richard King's performance have to be broken down into two parts, right? The first part, I would say Richard King in possession. Now, if we're talking about Richard King in possession, I would have to give him about an 8. Because I think a lot of times, whenever we had any kind of fluid play where we went through the thirds or the channels, Richard King probably started that play. Where I have to take off some of the points for him in possession is I don't think he trusted enough at times the players closest to him, whether it's Lembikisa, whether it's Hayden dropping in, whether it's Lowe even to recycle the play one more time, even Jamal Wait at times as well. Wasn't really inspiring confidence, so I'm not going to kill him too much for not passing to Wait, but I do think at times they might have even rushed beating the first line, and I think that's why when you analyze his long passes yesterday, last game I think he was 4 of 14, this time he was 1 of 10. not quite as effective. Now that's twofold. I said before the game that I think the confines of our pitch sometimes make it harder for our long passes to come through, at least when they're from so deep. Because obviously, if you're kicking the ball so far, it has to have a bit different velocity on it. So that first bounce going to bounce far and probably get to the goalkeeper. If you notice, most of the over-the-top balls that worked were from the middle third. Dixon twice. Trying to remember the other one over the top that didn't go to play. I can't remember right now, but I know Dixon had two of them. One to Kadamartir, one to Shamar, right? Now, as you can see, the ball was going through him more. So he has about 13 more touches than Low, which is to be expected. And I would just like if he could clean that up a bit more. At 69%, obviously a big chunk of that is the 9 long passes that weren't successful. So really and truly, other than that, he only missed 4 other passes. But that is still 13 possession lost. And for me, as a centre back in a game where you've only had 45% possession, that's a bit too much for me personally, right? He was good in the ground duels, didn't win the one aerial he tried. And just as a to compare to Low's output defensively, he had a lot of clearances, but the block shots, interceptions, and tackles much less. So 9 total actions, and I think Low had 14. So King more the reader, the watcher, the sweeper, so to speak, and Low the aggression. And that's basically shows in the actions of the players. So I think moving forward, if King is gonna play, he's gonna have to not fall so much into this sweeper type of player. He's gonna have to be a little bit more front foot and proactive as a defender. Even when I think someone asked me earlier, I didn't want to answer it yet, about the offsides. Were we lucky or was it a good line? So I think personally, the first goal that they scored, I would like to say that was a decent line set by our team, because when you see the replay, the two most deeper line defenders in that picture are on the same line, right? And if one of them had been one step off, he would have been off. He would have been onside. Now the second goal, I would say it was more luck, or the second non-goal, I should say, because that's the play when Wade kicks it out. I think Sealy miscontrols it. It goes to Karai Anderson. He passes it back to Low. Low is trying to make an easy pass to Lee, but leaves it short. Now, when Low misplays that pass, at that moment, Garcia is onside. But what happens is when the ball gets to Yates on the top of the box, Low is attracted to the football, steps up from where he was, and leaves Garcia offside. So I'd say the second one was more luck. Just the way the ball broke and what Low did on his reaction to where the ball moved to made the player be offside. So I can't say that one was really designed. Now the third one, that was a good line help, because once he makes the run through and doesn't get it from Nathaniel James, none of our defenders followed him to keep him on side. So I would say 2 of the 3 were good defensive principles causing the offside. That second goal, we got lucky in our ass. I'll tell you that. But Richard King, for me, I think Low was a little bit better. I think, the sofa score says the same, and I kind of agree with that in this sense. But I do think he deserves a 7, because he did enough actions that were good that I think outweighed the bad overall that he had in the game. So I wouldn't be upset with a 6.5, but I'm going to give the extra because the clean sheet did happen. So I'm going to say a 7 for King. And I actually think in a 2-game stretch, for me personally, this is the best I've seen King over his entire time with the Reggae Boyz. I don't know if anybody agree with that. But yeah, I think King played his best out of all the games I've seen him play. I swear. At least 2 in a row. Because I think he did play good in the Costa Rica game as well.
I second you on that. But there's a touch on his performance. I think it's one of his smartest performance, because I know that if you watch, I know when they go over those video analysis and stuff and they go, I know he don't want to get isolated with Spicer. Right? I know he don't want to get out there. So for him sitting back and playing deep like a sweeper role in a 2, I think it's one of the smartest things that he does. And he worked out for him as well. Right? As I said, he had a couple clearance, block shot as well. But yeah, I have to give him credit. I give him a 7 as well. I think the long ball, I think he rushed them a lot. And most of the long ball now, they're going not even horizontal. He's going across the field to Cephas on 3 occasions. two went out. I think Cephas got one of them, right? But if you realize something, the play that was designed in Bermuda, where you have where Campbell will come inside, right, and bring the wing back with him. When Campbell come inside, Noah Pollard wasn't following him at all. So when he tried to go long for Bailey as well, for Calamari to run onto it, to split the two defenders, Kobe and Pollard was actually closer to the ball than him, because like what happened against Bermuda, where he will follow Campbell to go inside, right? So basically that didn't work out. But as I said, sometimes you have to see when you go for a couple passes and it doesn't work out, you have to reassess it. But I think he finished the game well. I think even what I was impressed with him, man, Jason. I didn't know if you saw it in the camera. I think I can allude to it as well if you see there. When the second offside was called back, you could see him out there really going at low, right? Going at low, like he said him to go along, right? And that was one thing that was showing a form of leadership as well.
I know somebody had mentioned it earlier and said they didn't quite like that reaction from him. But look, I think Damian Lowe will not take offense to that, I don't think. I think Nana is secure enough in himself to be able to take a cussing from a player. And I think also that, King would have earned his stripes in the game and the games he's played with him before to be able to speak to him if he thinks that he's not doing something right. Now, maybe you can do it a better way and have to push the man and all them something there. But I agree. If you see something going on, you need to hey, shape up. Let's do better. Or if you see something that he could do better, you need to say it. I didn't take so much into that. What I don't really like so much is when he reacts to the opposition. So, like, if you remember in the first half, because I still feel like they could have looked at that on VAR, when Garcia made the cutting run and King was out of position and them kind of tangle up feet right outside the box. Another ref on another day could have looked at that. They didn't look at it in this game.
Before halftime, just before halftime.
Yeah, it was just before he scored the offside goal, because when he goes down and it's not called, King basically push Garcia and say, "What you do, brother? Oh, you look for penalty and him something." And the next play is when him get chopped. And I'm saying, you see, sometimes in that moment, don't worry about the player. Refocus yourself. And I'm telling you, that emotion and everything make him go into that challenge like a madman and get chopped. Now, it was lucky that it was offside. But I'm saying, hopefully, he learn from that. If I'm a scout and I'm talking to him, I would show him that play and say, "King, this is why you have to let certain things go." Because even at St. Mary, we saw something similar, when the man gets a yellow, I want to cuss, man. I don't even know, brother. But I guess
also again, to put it forward again, also in the JPA final as well, which he looking at referee was a close guy. He could have got sent off.
Yep. Yeah, so look, I think it's the type of thing where you don't want to coach it all the way out to the player, because clearly it's a part of what gets him going. But he need to pick him spots a little better, I think, because in that phase of play, you're so worried about, showing up Levi Garcia that you never got your head back in the game. And then the next action you had with Levi Garcia, I'm saying you go to the shop. So you just have to keep your cool sometime. But good display from King, promising. I can't cuss a man if him come and tell me that, next window, boy, we need to strongly consider starting him again. As I said, I know there were some frailties there, and I saw them as well as everyone else. But in the grand scheme of things, when they had to make defensive actions, they did them. And yes, we rode our luck at times, but that's football. That has always been football. Nothing is going to change where that is concerned. But anyway, let's move on. Left back, Greg Lee. Marlon, I will let you go first because I heard you mention him in your overall breakdown. So let me hear what you have to say about Greg in his performance in the game.
Well, when I think I talk about a player that wanted a performance, I think Greg was one of those players as well. Especially with Amari out, he really stepped up. The last game as well, he stepped up. again this time, and after big him up, he was a monster out there on the field, right? I said defensively going forward as well. It was his header that led to that miscommunication between Trinidad and Kobe Henry.
Hey,
Right?
by the way, Marlon, a big bonus await for him mobile, you know. You hear about it?
Oh,
Not criminal, man. Yanni Epstein have a big fat bonus for him, you know.
yeah, but I think it was a big cut, but and as I said, it was Greg Lee working there, and after really, and I think we always when we assess him and analyze his performance, what he does with the ball. If you look over the past two games, right, he loses the ball a lot. Both our wing backs, I think both of them lose the ball. I think between both of them, it's like 48 or 46 or something. I don't remember. But if you look at it as well, what was ridiculous, our two wing back in the two games had most possession, had more touches off the ball. So that's something we have to look on and really assess it, right? As I see you're pulling it up there, right? What he had 68 touches for Dexter and Greg had 61, right? So usually your two centre backs always have the most touches on the field, and then your CDM. So to see our both wing backs really instrumental in touches and going forward. And yes, the pass accuracy not gonna be there because I said both of them together lose the ball what 47 times, 47 times or 46 times. But I said big him up. As I said in the stadium last night before they even announced it, he was the man of the match for me. First, we say it had been Kalamachi because he scored what he offered, but you look at what he did Marshall in the back line with the other three defenders as well, right? Really kept Sealy quiet, right? Because if you look at those, Sealy didn't get past him, so right. So that we have to really, and those when you go up against wingers who are direct wingers who like to take one-on-one and they don't get to run past you, right? That you have to give them the credit on that. So good game for him, right? And as I go, my rating for him, Jason, I give my 8.5.
Marlon, no. For me, I won't take long on Greg Lee. All I will say is, I as well as you, well, not as well as you, but people who know my channel and know my thoughts on the left back position, I've always been more of a Amari Bell fan, to be honest. And a part of the reason for that has always been, I just think Amari Bell just takes care of the football better. You know, he doesn't lose the ball as much. But I will say one thing about Greg Lee that like kind of makes a difference over Amari Bell, and I kind of see why people have asked for him to start over Amari in the past, is he almost he plays with a certain aggression that I don't think Amari Bell plays with. And I think that endears him to some of our Jamaican fans a little bit more. So I think that's why they like him more. And also, one thing with Greg Lee is he's pretty consistent. I mean, I think these two games might have been a little better than his norm, but he's pretty much going to give you a 6.5 or so every time. And I think that's why he has been able to stick around this team, you know, with all the recruits and different players we could use and everything. He's always been a staple if he's fit because he's kind of really consistent and you know what you're going to get. And I think him and Dexter, actually, if you look at both of them, of all the players in those positions that we have used lately, I think they offer the best in both areas of what your fullback would do. So I think they're the best going forward in their position of the current people that play, and I think they're also the best defenders. Arguable with Amari Bell, but I do think Amari Bell at this stage might be better suited to a little more central role than the left wing role. For example, I would trust Greg Lee more against the speed and trickery of Sealy. You know, I don't know if you agree with that, but I would actually do that. So I agree. I think you gave him the 8.5. I'm gonna stick it to the 8. Mainly because, as I said, I can't overlook the 20 possession loss. Like, I don't think that was totally necessary for him to lose the ball so many times. But I have to give him credit for his work rate on the defensive side. I mean, look at the amount of actions, you know, one more than even Damian Lowe, who had 14 total actions defensively. He had 15. He was dribble past at one time, but I want to say that was late in the game as well. I don't think it was Sealy. I think it was after he came off. I think it might have
again,
been James in the second half drifting out wide or something, or maybe Levi
James, yeah.
drifting out wide, something like that. But it wasn't Sealy. Sealy was buckled up. So yeah, he had a main job. I'm sure the coach would have told him, listen, this kid is on fire in MLS. We've seen what he's done in the Gold Cup to teams. Let's stop him. And Greg was there to do the job. So I'll give Greg an 8. Only a little knockoff because of the possession stuff. And then Dexter will get right into as well. Gonna move it a little faster from now because I do want to finish up the show pretty soon. But Dexter for me, good value. Again, I thought he was probably our best player in the first game. Don't think he achieved that status in this one. But again, defensively, I was very pleased. Only got beaten one time, kept Spicer quiet. Think he deserves to give a little assist to Tyrese Campbell, especially in the first half, for giving him that help in those spells when Trinidad did have the better of play. But you know, he also was solid. You know, all action, full of energy. But again, have to mark him down a little bit, even though he got a clean sheet, great defensive actions for his possession loss. Now, one thing I do want to point out about Dexter before I kick it to Marlon is you guys should have noticed that I mentioned if we don't change the personnel in the midfield, McLaren has to do something about that area where Hayden is to receive that first ball from the defense. Now, what we saw a lot of times, especially in that second half, or not even the second half, in both halves, but the first half a lot more, I thought, was Dexter inverting to be a partner in that midfield for Hayden, which freed up Russell and Palmer to play a little bit more in areas that they prefer to play. But one thing that I did notice is at times we haven't really figured out how to play after we lose the ball once Dexter inverts. It kind of put us in a hot water a few times. So if we're going to continue doing that, I just want the coach to really hone in on when we lose the ball out of that shape, what that looks like in the first phase of another team's attack. I don't know if you noticed that a little bit of miscommunication with that when we did that, but I noticed that whenever we lost the ball and Dexter was inverted, it seemed to be more of a threat for the other team. So we need to really, really figure that out moving forward.
And those are the things that you find King coming out wide. But and to add to it, and I think that's where Bell is essential to that build up there. Because when you build up as a back three, right? And we basically saw it against Guatemala in the game here. When Latibodier started, Latibodier came in, so we basically had the freedom for Russell to go forward. So I think, as I said, Dexter is a man who would like to go bomb down the flank, right? But I think he's probably learning that now. So let's look going forward to see how they basically incorporate him playing that. I think Lati is getting closer now, back on the field and stuff. So let's see. Have to come back and get some game time. But good performance on Dexter. I said I give him 7 as well. But as I said, losing the ball, I think 28 using the ball 28 times, that's totally ridiculous. But as you can say, most of the time he's losing the ball, it was trying to send the ball forward. So that's where but as I say, he and Greg, both of them losing the ball so much times. I think that from that standpoint, and that's what he gave for Amari Bell. He doesn't lose the ball a lot as a wing back.
Yeah, Amari Bell is much less of a risk taker on the ball, so he's gonna have a higher retention rate and possession rate and everything. But I do think that Lee and Dexter are a bit more front foot in their approach. So yes, it's gonna lend itself to losing the ball more. But I would venture to say, even though you're on the front foot attacking, that's a bit too much for my liking. You know what I mean? But still, I think solid from both. I said at 8 and 7. I think you said at 8.5. And what you gave Dexter?
7.
7. All right. So looks like the chat pretty much agree. I see a 6.5 from Father Bling. That's a bit low, I think. Yeah, man. Respect Bala. You don't know where I try
Let's say Bala.
Bring some analysis to the game, you know. Rob Smith, what you do over here? You never know, say Rob Smith place, bro. Man say you're gonna track and feel, you know, even though I hear time now, coach, you know, you're not doing no show tonight. We need to know who lucky in for the medal them, you know, coach. What time the track and field show start? Tapa cousin, you sell out? Oh, what Tapa cousin? Oh, you. Are you in my call Tapa cousin, Marlon?
Why alone me coach alone?
All right. So listen, we're just gonna do the midfield in triple, right? So I will
Come on.
just give a brief synopsis of the players. You can do the same, and I will just give the scores them. All right. So Isaac Hayden in the midfield. You can see the stats on the screen here. Look, Isaac Hayden, something that we learned and we knew already, is a key to the team. Very, very important in the midfield. Just has this calming influence in there. I think at times, sometimes he looks like he's out of position, but I think it's because he's trying to cover too much area because of his midfield partners not being there when he needs them, right? But yeah, I think when you analyze his game, this is what he gives you every time. 95%, 90% or more. Just look, 43 touch, 2 times losing the ball. Now, you tell me, people, one thing I will say to Steve McLaren and the coaching staff, if you have a player like this with such a good retention rate in a game where we just went through two players that lost the ball a total of 46 times between them, maybe we need to adjust how we think is the best way to progress the ball. Because Isaac Hayden should have double the touches of those people based on what he's able to do when he has it. Now, I don't know how that would look or how that would work. I would have to sit down and really come up with something. But whatever we're doing, we need to maximize this guy on the ball more because he has such a high retention rate and he sets the table very well. So as long as he's involved in the action, we're not going to lose the ball. It's going to continue to tick. And yeah, we need to try to get him on the ball more because I think it will pay dividends. Moving on to Russell now. He was the one that started the game closest to Isaac Hayden. In the first half, though, I don't know if others noticed, Russell and Palmer were kind of rotating from time to time. So sometimes you saw Russell further forward, sometimes you saw Casey. It looked like Russell was supposed to be closer to Hayden more often than not. But as I said, it would kind of switch as the game was going on. But he was okay in the game, John Russell. I thought, similar to the Bermuda game, I felt that he kind of grew into the game. And I think a part of him growing into the game was once Palmer came off, he was kind of freed up and sent a little bit further forward. And that's when we really saw the better of him. He had 22 touches in the game, and I would venture to say that the majority of those came after he had the freedom in the midfield. So I'm not going to quite get to a whole segment about what we learned, but one of the things I was going to touch on is that it's pretty much confirmed what I already thought, which is that in an ideal world, only one of Palmer or Russell would play in midfield with Hayden if we want to have the right protection for Hayden in that midfield. So Palmer, I'm not going to talk too much on Palmer. I was not super thrilled with his window this time. I thought in the first game he got the goal, which kind of, for me, glossed over some of the stuff that I kind of thought was wrong with him in that performance. In this one, it was a little bit more Jekyll and Hyde. I thought he did some really good things. Thought he was good on the ball, sharp. He beat players, had some decent, probing passes and whatnot. Had a decent retention rate as well. But man, his discipline is really becoming something that you have to watch because that kick out on the player, similar to the play with King and Levi Garcia on another day when luck wasn't on our side, VAR could have upgraded that to a red because he contacted the player with a kick out with no football above the socks, kicked him on his knee. So another interpretation of VAR, we could have been down to 10 men in the first half. So yeah, look, the 3 scores I'm going to give Isaac Hayden the highest of the 3. Actually, no, I'm going to give Hayden and Russell the same, only because Russell got a goal. So I'm going to say Hayden gets a 7, Russell gets a 7, and I'm going to have to give Casey Palmer a 6. And I'm borderline 5.5, but I'm going to give him the 6. And that's just because I personally think he can do a lot better than he showed. And for an experienced player, maybe not as experienced in international, but he should be at this point. He's up to, I don't know how many caps, Marlon probably has a number in his head. But he just made some bonehead decisions in this game. And it's becoming a theme and a pattern now. And hopefully somebody can get it into check because I think he was supremely lucky not to be sent off. But Marlon, my scores for them 7, 7, and 6. Isaac 7, Russell 7, Palmer 6. What say you about the midfield tree?
All right, midfield tree. Isaac instrumental again. Played 2 games, lost the ball 6 times. That's totally ridiculous, right? As we were talking about our wing backs, how many times they lost the ball, right? He was the anchor. He was the leader in the midfield, right? didn't get the support from Russell that was needed in the first half. Curacao came on, they were closer unit, both of them together, and you could see the comfortable he was more in the second half. I give him 7.5. Russell, barring not the goal, he'd have probably got 6 on me. He could have been probably our lowest graded player, right? So the goal really add to it. 7. Casey, as I said, going forward with the ball is okay, and had that we can all visualize that pass to Cephas and to Taris, right? There's a little link up play in the early part of the game between him and Taris and Kaz, right? But didn't I think the last game was much better as you mentioned as well about the foul, and even after the crazy part was not even the foul. After the offside goal was struck off, he threw the ball in the Trinidadian half, right? Throw it at the player, and I think that was being somebody who's experienced playing club football for such long time. He should have literally know, so once the offside is called, right? But I think sometimes you say passion get the best of you some of the time, and I think that happened to him there. Because the referee literally went and spoke to him about it because it's your ball. The goal has been chalked off for offside, right? So I give him 6.5, right? I think the best thing I said for him over the window was a goal. So yeah, 6.5, and John Russell got 7 because he got the goal, and Isaac, the linchpin there. We're gonna miss him. We're gonna miss him for that game. But I think we'd have basically missed him anyway for the game. So 7.5 for him.
You might wait forever, coach. I hope that's not the only thing that would bring you forward again, you know. Anyway, let's move on to, and we just have to do it the trifecta from now on, because as I say, we don't want there all night. But yeah, so basically this is the front three that would have started yesterday. Ronaldo Cephas off the left, Campbell off the right, and Bailey Cadamartier off the central, of course. So the funny thing when you just look at this on face value, Marlon, is that the general thing that I've been hearing is that Tyrese Campbell wasn't that good in the game. But you know, it just goes to show like analytics and taking a deeper analysis of things. Sometimes you get a different picture because SofaScore is unbiased. They don't really care what score people get. They just base it off of what they've done on the field. And in their mind, you know, Tyrese Campbell was a little better than Cephas. Now let's analyze the entire stats. You know, Cephas touched it 27 times, 89% passing, 21 touches, 82% passing. Cephas had a key pass, Tyrese didn't. You know, Cephas tried 1 cross and was unsuccessful. No crosses for Tyrese. Then you have shots on target, none for Cephas, 1 for Campbell. 1 shot block for Cephas. Cephas took on a player 7 times, was successful 3. Tyrese a bit more restrained, 1 for 1. 1-2 duels. Cephas was in 10, won 5 of them. 1 of 2, none of none. Cephas lost the ball 10 times, Tyrese 7. And then defensive actions, both of them basically tackle and a clearance, interception and a tackle for Tyrese Campbell. So almost mirror images in terms of stats for most part, apart from the dribbles and take-ons and the amount of duels, right? But I think the main thing with Tyrese, you can tell that, to me, Tyrese reminds me of let me see, who can I think of? Like when Casey Palmer would have first come to play, or John Russell when he first came to play. It's just like, you know, he's just a little bit unsure of himself in the Jamaica setup and the Jamaica jersey. It looks like he almost wants to defer a lot. And that's why I was so surprised when he cut in on his left foot. He didn't try to find someone centrally who actually went for the shot. Because it seems like in most instances, he just wants to defer to the other person and not overdo it. So my hope is that as his time on the pitch grows, he kind of gets a little bit more confidence, because I think he expresses himself a lot more for Charlton than he does for Jamaica so far. And I don't want him to go crazy because I don't think both wingers need to be taking on the man 7 times and losing the ball that much and all of that. I think I do like the balance of a more retention player and a more action pack go at the team player on the other side. So I don't mind that balance there, but I do think he's overdoing it on the side of like safeness at this point. So I want him to take a little more risk on the ball. But just continue doing what you're doing as far as work rate, kid, because trust me, I'm telling you, Dexter Lembikisa probably, if he hasn't thanked you personally yet, he's gonna give you some kind of gift, because a lot of times Dexter is on an island by himself on that right hand side, and I think the 2 games with you playing with him, he didn't have to go through that as much at all. Ronaldo Cephas, gift and the curse, brother. Gift and the curse. That's my new name for you. You gift me with a lot of joy, and then you curse me with nightmares sometimes with some of your decisions. But one thing I can see based on how the team deals with Cephas is that I think they're realizing what he is, because I'm seeing a lot less hands in the air when him don't pass and all these things. So maybe they're finally realizing, like, okay, we have something here. Yes, it's not super polished, but we'll work with it because it's causing fear in the other team. And that's how we started the game. Get the ball to Cephas, get out of the way. Literally, it was 10 minutes of Cephas running past people. We didn't get a goal from it. We got corners, we got almost good tries, but it did set a tone for the game. So it was needed, that little spell of Cephas time. And I don't mind that because, again, the team had to shift their whole line that side, which made it easier for Dexter, Tyrese, and others on the other side to have more space. So it was fine by me. I just wish the final pass and decision could be a little bit better. Cephas, I want to ask you as well, when you get down the flank on your left and you look up into the box and you're trying to cross, what is your goal? Because you did the same exact square cross 4 times that went straight to Trinidad foot. I didn't see one time. So work on that left foot lobbed cross if you can. I think that will add a dimension to your game. Bailey Cadamarteri, I'll talk about you really quickly. I said something before the stream started yesterday on IMAX it, big up JD. I said, listen, all I want from Cadamarteri tonight is a goal, because I know that our fans have a way to overlook. I know Rob Smith always says this, we don't care about man we score a goal and we care about everything else the forwards do. But I just have this belief that if a player is doing what Cadamarteri did in the first game continuously, the goals must score. And he got 1 goal, didn't get many chances in this game, really only got the 1, maybe the half chance in the second half after the right on the Dixon through pass. But I think this kid has attributes to be a clinical striker, and I feel like that first game against Bermuda is going to be more the anomaly than the norm for this kid when he plays for us. I know there's many others waiting in the wings. I know there's some injured and all these things, but for me, the skill set him have, what I saw in these 2 games, unless he loses it somehow, for me, he's in the squads from now on. He has the age, he has the style of play, right? He has the size, he has the strength, everything you would want. And I love the fact that when the ball gets to him, for the most part, it sticks. Even if he loses the ball, he usually gets his toe back on it and wins it back some kind of way. Just, very, very sharp player. I like what I saw. So I'm going to give the 3 scores. Bailey Cadamarteri for me gets a 7.5. I agree with Sofa score there. Tyrese Campbell for me gets a 6.5. And Cephas for me gets a 6.5 as well. Yeah, that's what I will say for those 3 players. Marlon, take it away.
Yeah, man. So Cephas, rating 6. You said everything about him. Somebody who always has a good first touch. That as I mentioned before, that play, that bright spark, the combination play from defense to midfield, that Casey Palmer the ball end up to him. First touch, second touch, took the ball away from him, right? But I think he after 25 minutes in the game, he got lost because Rampasad was started to support Rio, and so they're basically doubling up on him over there. And as you mentioned, when he goes, we mentioned about the 3 ball that he kicked in the box to Trinidad. you need to have a plan when you go there. Chip the ball to the back post or look for the runner coming crashing into the box. Right? He didn't do that. So I said not gonna leave on to him too much. But another negative to him again. He lost the ball 2 times. The first one, that first offside goal, he was the one who lost it, right? In the second half again, there's another incident. He lost it the same way again. So I think that's something he needs to do as well. And losing the ball is not the problem. Where you lose it in your defensive third, right? And there was also an instant early in the game as well, where he got the ball, he passed Greg Lee, look at low, don't know what to do, right? Luckily, we got out of that situation. So ratings for him 6. Terry started the game pretty shaky, right? Grew into the game for around 15 minutes onward. But you say he was doing he was there instrumental with Dexter on the defensive side. We all know that he's playing on the weaker side, but I said you're a professional football player, so you have to basically, once international football and you're out of the field, expect you to go out there and put in a performance. I think he probably might say he's a bit unlucky and he didn't score. But I think he just after cutting back that ball, he have to stretch out to take that shot. Half a week left foot as well. Smith made that easy save. Ratings for him I give him 6.5. Kadamatiri, welcome home. A lot has been said about you, right? I think as somebody needed to score into this game to really shut some people up. He was one, right? We did the work on him. Didn't come last year. He's here now. He's here to stay. As his dad said, he tell him, you go out there and just lay it out on the field, right? He did it. Got the goal. Didn't give up on the ball as well. But I think what we saw for him, what we saw for him, Jason, composure. What you want from your striker, your number 9, run the channel as well, hold up play, right? Come inside the midfield as well, passing accuracy. I think he was trying to sift through Kaim one of the time that the passing to come out, but he does the simple stuff. And I think as a young player, 20-year-old kid, I think he's gonna be a diamond for us going forward in the future. Oh, he's rated 7.5 as well.
7.5. All right, cool. So yeah, we're pretty much on the same page. I think I might have given Cephas a 0.5 more than you. But hearing you talk about Cephas and some of the things that he did that led to some of the bad moments for us, I think I might tend to agree a little more with the 6 than the 6.5. But I'll stick to my guns and say 6.5. But it looks like we're kind of pretty close on most of these. Let me just do this. So there were some tandem subs. So we'll go ahead and score them together, Karai and Kaim. So go ahead and let me know what you think about those 2 performances from them.
Karai, leadership in that midfield, composure. Really came down and settled on the midfield. Always looking for the safe pass. Wasn't trying to do nothing spectacular. Link up play with him and Kaim inside the middle. I give him 6.5. Kaim brought the energy. Goal favorite. Really brought the life there. As I said, I think he was somebody who would have come and really in at this stadium. Persons were getting more active cheering on now on. But that's still, you're talking about somebody who's born in the culture, so he knows that as a schoolboy player how to really get everybody up. And I think he came and did that. Was really bright in his play as well. As I said, I think somebody who's playing first team football now, you can basically see what is the energy is bringing. Little bit more composure, right? Have a little flair as well. I give him a 7.
All right. Sounds good. Well, for me, Karai Anderson, much of the same from the first game, even though I thought the Bermuda one was a little bit better. The only thing I will say about Karai is I just need him to sometimes be a little more aware of the importance of the challenge he's going into. There was one play in particular where I think King kind of caused it on us because he could have cleared the ball that came in the air. He decided to chest it down and think he could win it. He like lobbed it up in the air, and Karai Anderson was backing up to control a ball that he clearly would have to run and try to jump and head to challenge. And I think those little things, sometimes he's a little unaware of his surroundings. But what I will say is, in this window, on the ball, he looked 10 times better than what he was looking in previous windows. I don't know what it was, but he was willing to, play that pass to the center back, go back and get it, play to the left back, go back and get it. All the things that we praise Ravel for doing, I was seeing him do that type of stuff. And hopefully the fans can realize that even without the maestro, maybe there's other people that can do what we wanted Ravel to do in this current form of Ravel. Because I've heard everybody say, well, if he's not playing, he can still come on and do a 30-minute and keep the ball. And well, it looked like Anderson can do that as well. So let's see how that goes moving forward. I think he actually had a window that McLaren will look and say, maybe I have been shortchanging this kid, because a lot of times he's the odd one out in these camps that don't get no game time, and we're like, how come he can't play? Well, he's gotten his chances the past couple of times, and I think this time more than any, I would say he probably grabbed it better than other times when he had the chance before. Now, Kaim Dixon, in this game, I thought he was very, very impactful. Obviously, he's always going to bring the energy and the heart, like the man them like to talk about. But what I liked more than anything in this game was quality. Immediately when he got on the field, he had like a really clean first touch, played a slick pass to Kadamarteri, made a run, and that literally just laid the foundation for how he was going to play. 37 minutes on the pitch, 2 key pass, 10 of 11, 91%, 1 long pass over the top. Really was 2, because he played the pass to Bailey Kadamarteri with his right foot, and then he played the other one with his left foot to what's my boy, Shamar Nicholson. So 2 very good passes over the top. Obviously action pack. So you see, he went into 13 duels for that little part of the game. Didn't win a lot of them, but action. And then look at the defensive actions in that little time: 4 tackle, 1 block shot, 1 clearance. So everything that Kaim Dixon gives you, plus some brata, was what he brought to the field. And I have to give him props, because he played really well in the game. And to be honest, he looked sharp in the first game off the bench as well. In terms of just the touches and the movement and the slickness and the sharpness. And he looks to have a lot more purpose in possession now. It's not so much guessing. Like, he really knows what he wants to do when he gets the ball. So long may that continue, Kaim. And honestly, if you continue playing like this, I just happen to like the energy that you bring off the bench. I know as a player, you probably would hate to hear that, like, why we can't start, I bench every time. But I just feel like him coming out with how he plays will have more of an impact to the opposing team than if he starts the game. I don't know if you have anybody in the chat agree with that. That's probably a big argument to be had. But that's just how I see it with Kaim currently. I just think his impact goes up when he comes off the bench than when he's starting. Okay. But yeah, for me, I would give Karai Anderson 6.5, and I would actually give Dixon for his cameo a 7.5. I thought he was really impressive to me in that game. Then we can go ahead and do the last 3 together. So we had Joshan Anglin coming on, Shamar Nicholson, and Mason Holgate. I'll go first on these. So Joshan Anglin, he came in and people were probably like, yo, he's coming in. Okay, all right, cool. But he actually did pretty well. I mean, he covered the ground well. I thought I was a bit surprised that he didn't get involved in more challenges and things like that, because that's typically what I have a problem with him for, that he's just a bit too wild for my liking in the challenges, and just a red card, yellow card, definitely going to happen. But I thought he was pretty measured. I thought he knew what his role was. He was there to plug the gaps. And I really enjoyed a pass that he sprayed out to, I think it was, I don't know, it must have been to Dixon, all along the ground, diagonal, really pretty pass. And it was a part of a move, a couple of passes before that. So the crowd really enjoyed that play. But yeah, a funny thing on that same play, he was actually in position, top of the box, and it was not laid off to him. And I was thinking, Anglin actually will score them like a top of the box thing there, But yeah, look, Joshan Anglin, I don't know if it was enough of a cameo for him to like solidify himself or anything into the squad moving forward. But the good thing for him is that I don't think he looked out of place in the game. I mean, he didn't have much to do. It was kind of the timing of the game. we weren't really playing through the midfield at that point. He only had 7 touches in his time on the field. But as I said, when he got the ball, he did well with it. He only lost it once, and he played a really good sprayed pass that could have led to something. So I'll give him 6.5. I think is fair. 6 would be the normal for me off the bench, but I'll give him the 0.5. Shamar Nicholson, I'll probably give him a standard 6. Maybe a 6. I'll give him a 6.5. I thought his touches were clean. Every time he touched the ball, he retained it, he held it. Had 2 shots blocked. One went out for a corner, one nearly bust Kobe Henry head. But one thing, not necessarily on the ratings, but just overall on Boza, you can tell that even though he's not playing as much as I would like at Tijuana, he's in shape. He looks lean. He doesn't look as sluggish and slow. Even that run over the top from the ball from Kaim Dixon, he was able to outrun Trinidad. We ain't slow. Trinidad caught up to him, but I think that's because he slowed down to get the bounce right and connect the ball. But the initial burst, I like what I saw, and it doesn't look as sluggish as it did in past windows. And then Mason Holgate came in. They went to a back 5 late. He was playing left of the center in a back 5 or back 3 basically, and I thought he was solid as well. Never lost the ball, bounce off a few man, win the ball, doing Cruyff turns and all kind of madness. Very, very composed. I think it came out afterwards that he was really not 100% in this window, so that kind of explains why he never got a look in from the start in either game, which I had predicted would happen. But I think moving forward, the coach is going to have some big decisions to make. We have a defense line that kept a clean sheet twice, but we do have others coming back from injury, and others like Mason Holgate, who was slightly injured, maybe hampered his playing time. What will the coach do moving forward? So I'll give Mason Holgate also the slight bump to a 6.5. So all those last 3 subs, I would say get a 6.5. And Marlon, you can give me your take on those 3 players, and then we will close.
As I said, ratings for them, I have all 3 of them. I give them 6.5. I think came in one ahead of for Holgate. Distribution over the back was good as well. It's 100% passing accuracy. Boza as well, as I mentioned, Boza. When they say somebody who wanted a performance in this window, I think he definitely wanted it. Right? Scored a goal in the first game, came on, was running, as I said. Think he should have had a goal. I don't think Trinidad should have come back and blocked that one. Right? But good performance from him. It really adds to the first game performance as well. So I think good window for him, good outing for him. 6.5. Anglin comes on. Didn't put in a bad performance. Did the simple thing as well. As I said, you didn't see that tackle, but that pass to Kaim as well, really good pass. He has been doing it last season for Montpellier, so I have to give him congrats. I give him a 6. Right? So I think he cannot really blame himself for looking at all. He got a little time out there, did what he needed to do for the game. So good performance from him.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it's well documented. I'm not his biggest fan, but I did mention in the playoffs, I think it was in JPL last year, that I see some improvement though on the topper. I think playing with some of those players, Clifford Thomas of the world, Judy as well, just maybe playing amongst some different players for a little bit. I don't know. Something is working at Mount Pleasant guys with the player. So long may it continue. If I don't like a player, that don't mean I can't ever like them, and I want them to get better. So if he's getting better, that's good.
He has really improved since coming to Mount Pleasant last season, and after give the coaching staff down there. I think even when Clifford came in, I think he take him out of the CDM position, turn him into a box to box. He got better.
Which I think suited him for the better.
So you basically got him out making those reckless tackles sometimes. So I think he's somebody who's growing in that role, right? The coach, or you rate the coach?
All right. So look, for me, the coach, 6 points from 6. So I have to be realistic here and say yes, the coach deserves some credit. Where I will give him some more credit as well is, I think I mentioned it a few times today. I think when you look at both games, when you look at like some of the timing of the substitutions, I think it's something that they would have analyzed before this window and tried to realize, have we really maximized what we have in our squad with some of the ways we make subs? And I think if they really did some analysis of that, they would have thought that they haven't done so, at least not well enough. So I would like to think that, you can only judge a coach by what is happening lately. And I know sometimes we tend to just, once we brand somebody what they are, right? And for me, I feel like he did a lot better in both of these windows. When you look at like the timing of the subs, who he brought in, the impact that the subs would have made, right? So, the first game as an example, I think when we go up 3-love, everybody and their mama was saying, okay, Palmer's on a yellow, Hayden's also on a yellow. Maybe wanted both of them to come off, but he decided to do one. So I was happy with that. Anderson came in, had a great impact. Damian Lowe, first time playing in forever. Definitely. Don't make him play the 90 minutes. Same with Cadamarteri. Look, at one point, I didn't want him to come off just so he could find the goal. But at some point, you have to kind of shield him because it felt like if he got another chance and missed, could have maybe messed him up forever. So he took him off. Shamar comes in, also has an impact, scores from the corner. Even Webster, who people might have thought, I can't believe Webster getting a run. He comes on, supplies the goal from the corner. So, when a coach has an issue, and we have all pointed out maybe McLaren with the subs ain't the best. He came this window and I thought everything about his subs made sense. I'm watching the game and calling for subs and which players to be subbed. Even at halftime of this game, I'm saying, I wouldn't do it at halftime, but one of these two players have to come off very early into the first half, Palmer or Russell, right? I said the same about I said something about freshening up on the flank as well. Now I had voted for Cephas to come off because I thought that initial burst and threat that he was showing kind of had subdued, and I thought Tyrese was kind of growing into the game as it went. So I thought of the two, Tyrese was on a better trajectory to continue playing. The coach went for Tyrese Campbell off and Dixon on, and I couldn't complain because Dixon did his thing. And so, yeah, when you look at it, what the coaches mainly get judged off is obviously wins and losses. And then what did you do during the game to win or lose? And when you factor that in, I don't think Steve McLaren can get any less than an 8 in this window. And as a matter of fact, for him having a backbone in the press conference, I'm going to give him an extra 0.5. So I'm going to say, McLaren, you get an 8.5 this window from me, bro. Honestly, that's probably your highest rating you've ever gotten. So keep it up. What you say, Marlon?
Well, I'll give him credit along with his coaching staff. Brought in a new assistant with him. You could say basically the communication. Dan was there as well. Miran's still there, right? With all that happened before player selection and stuff, everything, missing players. This is the highest rating that I'm gonna give him. I don't know if I will give him a 9 again. But I'm gonna give him a 9. I just said substitution, and what I can say, he wasn't reactive to the change or anything like that, right? He makes some bold decision, right? I just said making changes 51 minutes. The other day, I'm at 57. So you could basically see that, okay, right? And bravery, keeping Isaac playing on the yellow card, playing 90 minutes on the yellow card for the 2 games, right? You have to comment him on that as well. He made the bold decision when he need to make them. Brought on Boza in the first game for Cadamarteri. He came and scored. Coach looked like a genius, right? Brought on Mason Holgate for Low as well. Took off Palmer, put John Russell in the attacking position. Russell scored. So I think he's his best winner as a coach. I think he's the best winner as a coach for him. So I give him 9.
Yeah, agreed. Everything the man tried pretty much came off. So I can't be upset with you giving him a 9. I see J Ross asked a question in the comment section about the new assistant, right? And Marlon, can you tell me, did the JFF officially anywhere on any page like introduce him as a new coach?
Not that I've seen.
Yeah, because I was thinking that the only place I actually saw it was courtesy of BAM Sports. Big up yourself, man. I saw him do a post on his IG about it. But I see J. Ross asking about him, and obviously I did the research on him from when I saw the name. But in case you guys aren't aware, this is just obviously it's transfer market information. So let me show you guys what he's about. So Ian Birchnell is his name. He's a pro licensed UEFA coach, as you can see there. His last job would have been a part of Gary O'Neill's staff with Wolves. Obviously, maybe not the greatest staff to attach a name to, but at the end of the day, that's a Premier League outfit, right? And this is his history as a manager. He was an assistant of Brian Reimer over at Anderlecht for a short period of time, about 15 games. He's been a manager at Forest Green. That's a National League team in England. Notts County, we know them because right now Tyrese Hall is on loan there in League Two. Osterson over in, I believe that's Norway. He had a long spell there, 60 games, and then Viking as well, assistant and then manager, Sarpsborg. So he's had Scandinavian history, managed in Belgium as an assistant and at Wolves as an assistant. He's 42 years of age, really getting his chops up. More than likely will be looking to seek some kind of head coaching role again soon. But for now, and I say for now with an emphasis, because if the JFF have not officially named him as anything, then I would like to think that maybe this is I don't want to speculate, but let's not say that it's set in stone that he'll be around much more than what we saw. But then again, with the window being such a success, maybe the negotiations can open up now and we can get him over the line, because clearly I wouldn't be tinkering with anything on the technical side after such a good window, I thought, from the technical staff in terms of just tweaks and the things I saw in the game that kind of helped us to get over the line in both games. So that's J. Ross. That was for you, bro. Just a little background on him. But other than that, people, I want to just first and foremost give a special thanks to the guests who came tonight. Of course, Marlon, who is still here, and Balpre King from Balpre TV, David, for stopping by earlier on as well. And also all of you lovely people who tuned in to hear what we had to say. This was a much longer show than I anticipated, but sometimes when you're talking the ball, this is how the ball game convo go. You have to play injury time if need be, people. So big up to each and every one of you who stuck around from the beginning to the end. Man like Real Baller, drop early comment. I had one, came a little late, but stayed as always throughout the show. Big up to Fabi Frano, very present as well. J. Ross, big up yourself. Brando forward late. I'm sure he wants to see what I was talking about there, so he'll go back and watch. Father Bling, I have to give you respect, bro. You're consistent. You were one of the hardest graders tonight, and we like that. We like consistency. Yeah, man, big up to each and every one of you. If I haven't named you, no disrespect, you don't know. Each and every one of you are important. A view is a view is a view, and a like is a like is a like. I'm gonna take none of it for granted. So Marlon, respect again, big up and thanks for the support. And
Bless up. Big up everyone in the chat. I say supporting the team. Good window for us. Looking forward to the next window. Players, hopefully everybody come back fit. No players pick up any new niggles. Right? Having a healthy team, I think once we have a healthy team, everything should be good for us. Right? So big up everybody.
Yeah, man, Marlon. Thanks again for lending your support and knowledge as well. Definitely always like discussing the football with you. Not always in the YouTube realm, but yeah, man, we love discussions off the air as well, because all of us learning ball and want to improve, and the only way you do that is by challenging yourself. So that's why we like to do what we do. But people, once again, I just want to say maximum respect. A lot of you turned out for the show today. We greatly appreciate it. Man's gonna give the family some time now. It's a little after 9. I hear things beeping and things going, so that means dinner going in my belly now. All right, people. I can tell some I get back my normal self and not sick again, because I worry about food. Anyway, people, big up. Thanks again for the support. If anybody can catch this one live, I know it's a long one, but it's well worth a watch. A lot of good information. My suggestion, if you don't have that much time, 1.5 speed should give you enough of a chance to understand everything and get through it a little faster, or just break it up into parts little bit now, little bit later, little bit later. This information will not go stale, so it is always there to watch on the replay. All right, people. So big up on yourselves. Thanks so much for the support. As we reach the end of the show, we'll always say these words. I am Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. And once again, we are out. 6 points from 6. Come on, Reggae Boyz.